Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking on it. Means a lot that you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep clicking, I'll keep making. I hope you guys like the first part of this because I think we had a lot of fun. Obviously, this is a week from the time that this first one was posted. So you guys are watching this in the future. We're back on January 7th, but you guys are going to watch this, on January 10th? How are we out with the math? It's going to be like January 16th. So it's gonna be a while from here. It's gonna be almost half a month after. But yet the Survivor landscape hopefully has not changed at this point. Hopefully Survivor isn't canceled by the time you guys are watching this video. But Skylander, it's I feel like this is the second half. Hopefully we can not go for 8 hours, but I'm fine going for 8 hours because it's like to me this is very fun. Like I like talking about this.
I love it.
Right,
that's great
because we all have different opinions, but like we can all kind of come to a consensus, and like we're not toxic with it, but there's definitely different opinions for sure. Maybe we'll have some fights over these next few. I think these next
we probably will.
These next 5 seasons are pretty. I feel like divisive for us. Although I think we can all agree on like a few of them for sure. All right, well,
we're about to see.
Well, is there something you guys want to talk about before we get to the rankings, or you guys just want to do it?
Yeah, Thailand represent.
Oh my god, dude likes Thailand. What can you say?
He it's good. He likes Thailand.
Bro knows what he likes. I like him.
He's determined. He knows what he likes. He's ambitious. Okay, so let's do Micronesia. So I think Micronesia. I'll start off. I think Micronesia is the best season before Cagayan. I think it really isn't even close. You're looking at a pre-merge that for an old school season, because I feel like my biggest gripe, and maybe Skylander can agree with me on this, like if it's a season that's super like strategy heavy, like Port Islands or Marquesas, the strategy only really gets heavy until after the merge, right? And even then, it's not that bad. It's not that good, right? But the strategy pre-merge is always like nothing. Whereas in this season, you have, first of all, the favorites, that whole opening sequence is very satisfying, especially after watching all from Vanuatu to China, watching, Suri and then Ozzy and then Fair Play come in. It's very rewarding. And then you have the what's his face? The is it something? It's like
on fans or
the one that beats up Chet.
Like Jet. I forget something like that.
Yeah,
Jet.
same. It's Joel.
Yeah,
thinking.
He's great though. Yeah,
Joel's
he's awesome. He's a perfect, like, super aggressive, like Brad Culpepper who almost plays so hard, and it feels like he plays a whole in 5 episodes, but like he plays like a 39-day game worth of in just his 5 episodes that he's there. Kind of like Culpepper, it's a pre-merge. We're on both the fan and the favorite tribe. It's actually fun, and even post-swap, which is probably the worst part, it's still somewhat fun. I think the Amy tribal was one of the most emotionally dripping tribals of all time. I mean, the lady's crying. I mean, like she's telling the truth, but because Eric is so good in this episode, which is hilarious considering he plays so bad later on in the season. But and overall, Eric is fun even before he gives away his necklace. But then, of course, we get to this amazing post-merge. I mean, this is one of it. I think, in my opinion, it's the 4 best back-to-back episodes of all time for me personally. With the merge episode where we get Eliza and the stick nonsense and things like that, and this is probably the worst one, honestly. Then we get the Ozzy boot, probably the best blind side up until that point, and you could argue ever. I mean, there's the emotional grip within it. There's Serene making the move. Parvati really bringing together this Black Widow brigade. Then we have, after that, James gets. Wait, is this the episode where James gets medevac?
For sure it is, yeah.
Right, and this is good because it takes away a pretty obvious boot, and so it speeds up the season. And so we get James going there. This is I forgot to mention in the last episode when they were all crossing their fingers behind the bench and got Jason to step down, and Ozzy was going to make an Eric out of Jason before they made an Ozzy out of Ozzy. And then after this, when Jason finds the idol because it's rehidden, which I feel like this is the first time where we had kind of gotten like that. Oh, like the idols are going to keep coming back. Like there's like four people who had an idol in this whole season. Like, that's crazy. Obviously now it's like 14 people who have an idol in one season, but back then I felt like it was so fun and exciting. And then you have Jason going out with an idol in his pocket. This is also where James goes. Then we get the Amanda idol play, which is also fun. Like really the first official big idol play of all time. Then we have the Eric boot, which is obviously, I mean, I don't think I need to talk about because Shep does it every single year for me. And then we have what is this? After this is the finale. Probably the boringest boot up until this point with Natalie going. And then we get Suri getting screwed out of a win there. But I think in the end, I think it really, there's nothing that competes with it except for China and Pearl Islands, to me personally. But I can understand why you guys would have those three above Micronesia.
I mean, there's some negatives to it, like fair play. The whole fair play stuff sucks. Really tarnishes a little bit of the season. The final three, final two thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the fan cast, like they have some entertainment over there, but like strategy wise, they're very bad.
I mean, they're bad, but they're like bad enough. Like when Joel, like when Mikey B was trying to split the vote, and he listen, I just come off of watching Edge of Extinction because I had finished my binge of all the seasons pre 39 because that was my first season, and I had the first season that I went back and rewatched was 16, and when I watched it like Mikey B's split vote plan was so complicated and convoluted. It sounded like something out of like 38. Seriously, like it was ridiculous, but it was so good that it was bad. It was a terrible plan, and Joel ends up blindsiding his girlfriend and then him just because the plan is too hard to follow. Like that's fun being bad at strategy. Not fun is like Thailand or something or whatever.
Why you got to do that to me?
Bro keeps throwing shots at Thailand.
But yeah, I don't know. To me, like I think all the negatives in this season can be then flipped on their head and made positives.
Yeah, I would say probably, except for the fair play thing, especially since the winner being Parvati, and she probably goes out first if fair play doesn't go.
Yeah, because I think fair play swings, and I think Suri would have gone with wherever fair play goes there. And so I think if fair play swings towards them, then Suri swings with them. Although Suri could have gone with Parvati, and then on a revote, fair play could have flipped because it's fair play. So I don't know.
But I mean, do we think this better?
And then you also got like a decent amount of like.
What?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do we think that this season's better if fair plays in it for a while or not?
Because then you don't. Yes. I mean, because I think he goes pre-merge anyway. So you're just kind of getting his. I mean, he may make the post swap better, maybe, but like to me, I don't think that he would add much to the season. I think it also hurts. Like this season comes together, those four strings of blindsides post merge happen because of the Good Girls Alliance. I personally wasn't a big fan of that. Obviously, seeing your own sex go out one by one, but it's great TV. It's great Survivor.
That's fine. I just think fair play always adds to a season, so I don't think I can agree him going out's a good thing.
Right. But fair play, like if fair play gets farther and takes like let's say on a post swap tribe, he goes to IRI and takes Nally Bolton's spot. Now maybe the Black Widow Alliance doesn't happen, and now all those blindsides don't happen, and now you have a whole different season.
But think about like the idea of like having like an actual force to go up against like Suri, because like strategically, I would say Suri and fair play are probably the top of the.
I think that at that point you have a whole different post merge, but it is still good. I would agree. I think watching fair play and Suri, the two best
it's definitely
strategical players. And I think at that point, if fair play stays, then Penner stays, and then if Penner stays, now you have Suri and fair play versus Penner.
Well, Penner got medevac.
Sorry. Right. I guess so, but. I mean, in a separate.
That's another like a little stain on the season. Is that you got to quit. You have 2 medevacs.
Right, but I think the quits were all. I mean, aside from fair play, and then the medevacs were also fine, except for Penner. Obviously, I feel like James's medevac worked out perfectly with where he was going to go because he was going to go. It was going to be a very obvious boot, and it was going to like put a taint on that great run of post merge episodes. And then as far as I think her name's Kathy. I mean, I don't think she was ever not quitting. I feel like she was always built to quit on this season.
It sucks to have like a fans tribe though, and have a member of a fan quit. You know,
right.
True.
I mean, like that's the thing is like neither of these seasons really had like fans, right?
Yeah.
But this season just worked because like one, the fan tribe didn't go to tribal every single time, like in Caramoan, and two, when they did go, you had Mikey B and Joel. Because without those two, this tribe is super boring, right?
Well, no, I think you need Joel and Chet together to be entertaining.
Yeah,
right.
So Joel
them together is so
Chet.
good. So I agree with like that. Being
I
great
think the first two, well, the pre-swap, although like the Tracy, Kathy, and Chet like versus everybody storyline is fun, I do think that the Mikey B and Joel ego battle is more strategically.
On a strategic level, but for entertainment,
level, yes.
Joel carrying shit through.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, like he's like out that hurt, and he's like, I don't care, and he says, I know,
yeah, right.
and then he says, I know.
Yeah,
like, I know
it's so good. That's a great moment.
It is fun for sure. Yeah.
Then, like
when the Penner thing is that's not great. I don't like that.
There's a lot of like fun challenge moments also, like when like
Mm-hmm.
Eric like hits himself in the stomach hard against like like he jumps to go to the platform, just like absolutely just boom hits himself against it. Then we have like the Penner's team like bull and like they're hitting the rocks and like the pallets and they're not breaking or whatever.
Yeah,
it's funny.
No, he says my ass.
Yeah, he hits it and doesn't break. He's like my ass. Yeah, Penner just usually adds to the season, so it's pretty sad to see him. Get medevac, not even just get voted out pre-merge. Just
he's been on were all like pretty decent seasons. So I mean, like the worst is Cookouts, and that's nearing bottom B tier. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he really helps Cook Islands,
right? Or I was gonna say without him, without him, Cook Islands is an F tier season probably. So okay.
Yeah.
So
I would also say this is the best of the fans. Like it's way better than the second fans versus favorites. Fans.
I think it's the best. Well, okay. Out of all the versus seasons, do we think it's a top two behind Dave vs. Goliath? Or do you think it's better than Dave vs. Goliath? I mean, what do you think?
No, absolutely not.
It's absolutely close. I think it's pretty close.
Not even close for me. Dave vs. Goliath is better than this season.
I think it's pretty close. Although I would say Dave vs. Goliath is better just because it's a new school season and it has like new school aspects.
Yeah,
and it's overall just a better cast. But you know,
if you're going based off, that.
Cool. You good?
All right. So
also, I just want to say, Eric is the first simp of Survivor. Giving up his immunity to the girls because he wants to impress the girls.
Well, he did it because he thought he needed to do it for the jury, which makes no sense. But they had somehow convinced him that sentence made sense. So yeah.
I mean,
that's what Eric will tell you.
Yeah,
that's
I don't think
that's what was in the episode. Is they had pressured him at tribal by getting mad at him and saying that if you get to the end, you're not going to have any jury votes because we're all not going to vote for you. And so they said that we'll just all of a sudden forgive you and vote for you at the end if you give up your immunity, which makes no sense. But they made Eric somehow think that all of those like loose ends that are not tied in that statement, like all the things that are like, wait, what? Like they had somehow made him not think of those things.
Yeah, Eric's a young guy.
That's how he forgot is that they were all wearing bathing suits. That's how he forgot about strategy.
Right. Eric was like,
well, maybe they promised him a thing or two. You never know. It's like,
you know what I'm saying? Eric got played. Yeah. It's actually funny.
All right, so we're going to drop this.
I think Micronesia should be an S tier season. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I would say A, but I'm fine with you.
I'm fine with compromising to bottom of S tier if you guys want.
I was going to say like high A.
Okay, well then I mean, I personally think that China is the very bottom of S tier, and that Micronesia is a teeny bit above China. So for now, I think it should take number one spot, but I'm fine like when later on when we have like 3 more S tiers come in, if it stays at that like bottom spot in S tier.
That's fine.
So I'm okay with going on this. So
cool. Top of S tier for now.
Yeah. So now, Gabon.
Love Gabon.
I love Gabon.
Gabon is A tier for me.
Wow.
And I would agree with that. I mean, I love Gabon. It's a train wreck, but it's a train wreck you just have to watch. You know, It's
I think it's the best train wreck season. Like people say, San Juan del Sur is a good train wreck season. I don't think so.
How is San Juan del Sur train
wreck?
Yeah,
because a lot of the players are dumb.
And no, but the thing is, like, this season has so many like funny like one-time characters, like Ace. Oh my god, I could go on hours on why Ace is so funny and why I think he has a fake accent.
I think this season also had like a bunch of people who didn't like each other, but America liked all of them. Like Crystal and Kenny are likable people. Sugar's like somewhat likable.
Crystal's amazing at how terrible.
How
she's
terrible
challenges when she's an Olympic
Everyone
athlete.
just hated each other this season. It was like so funny. Like Randy hated everyone. Like Corinne hated everyone.
Right.
Like Crystal hated everyone. I mean,
Kenny's a good strategy, like under the radar strategy.
Can we talk about how GC made himself the leader of the tribe? Then like one day after, just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And then he almost like misses a challenge because he's just out rowing the boat by himself. It's like, what the heck?
Oh, also, Maddie's awesome. If he would have won, this season's way better.
Yep.
Marcus, I like the demise of Marcus. I think that's a pretty fun little part of the season.
Yeah, if Marcus had won this season, it would be as bad as Thailand.
I mean, no, I think I really do believe that if Marcus makes it past that trial council, he steamrolls.
Oh, he definitely. I think that like there's a good argument to be made that he's the best player to never win, just based off that, because he was literally he had a guaranteed win if he even gets past that fluky swap, kind of fluky vote. But you know,
I mean, I also think it's hilarious that Susie almost beats Bob. Like she's one vote away. Susie.
And Randy has said that he regrets voting for Bob recently. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So.
Yeah, Randy's always.
Well, Randy regrets a lot of things, probably. So I mean,
I don't think Bob's a terrible winner of the three that were there.
Well, it was probably one of the worst final threes ever. Like,
I mean, I would have voted for Sugar, but I wouldn't have been happy for voting for Sugar because she
probably would have voted for Susie because I feel like she's the one that played like the least emotionally, even though she played horribly.
Right. Well, I think the thing with Sugar is she played emotionally, which I don't respect, but at least she played like at all. Like I mean,
she is like a weird version of Russell Hantz in terms of like basically controlling how the season goes, not necessarily on purpose. But like
Russell did it on purpose.
Being the focus, that's what I'm saying. She's like a revert. Like she's not one for one. Like I'm not saying
like
she's on the strategy
Russell Hantz.
Yeah, her character, she plays full emotion where Russell plays full strategy.
Right.
But like she runs the season kind of in terms of her character, and then you realize why she loses at the end.
Yeah.
But like she kind of dictates why it's the end it is.
And I think it's also like, how many times did she go to Exile Island? I swear, like she went there like every single time. Like the entire cast was just bullying her and just making her go to Exile Island over and over and over again. I mean, I just feel like the season it's just like it's just like a funny season. It's like everyone hates each other. No one likes each other. It's like everyone's making horrible moves and stuff like that. The winner of the season has absolutely no idea what's going on the entire game, and he's literally like he even says like, does he say in like Final Tribal like, yeah, I didn't play strategically at all actually. He was like,
I don't remember if he said that, but maybe
he says something along the lines of that, where it's like, you know, I didn't really play actively. Like he doesn't admit it, but like he knew that he was like on the bottom of his alliance or whatever. He actively knew that and just kind of like went with the flow or whatever. But I mean, I feel like out of like the final three, like I'm like if you're looking at like a story wise, I think the best winner is Bob, even though like he's probably the worst player to win. I'm trying to think of like who's a worse player. Like I like Bob had no idea what was going on.
I think Bob's the worst player and the worst game to everyone. I mean, maybe you made the argument that Chris has the worst game because he plays less days, but you could also make the reverse argument, like the counter argument that Chris plays more of a game. Bob,
but Bob didn't get voted out like Chris.
Right.
Yeah, but at least Chris played a game. Like I feel like
Bob was building. He was like the first guy to like build crap out of like nothing.
Yeah, but he's the first like actual
compared to Chris. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I would still go with Bob just because like getting voted out is like losing the game. So
didn't he have like a pretty cool challenge moment too? I forget.
Oh no!
Exactly.
He was like a challenge beast actually. Like how is Bob, the 57-year-old science teacher, the challenge beast on the season? Yeah. It's like or physics teacher. I forgot what he was.
That's what makes it so funny.
Right.
Yeah. It's like
the Olympic athlete is like the worst challenge.
Yeah, the 29-year-old, like still pretty young Olympic athlete, Crystal Cox. I heard something where like she got her like medals revoked or something.
Yeah, she did.
That. I forgot.
About steroids or whatever.
Yeah,
or like performance enhancing drugs.
Like,
but she's a great character though. I wish she'd come back.
I mean, I love Crystal. I mean, she's so funny. Like,
I love that snake challenge where they had to run around with the heavy snake. Remember that challenge?
Yeah. Oh yeah, remember when like they were blindfolded and she kept like going outside of the challenge or whatever?
Yeah, I think this is a great season. I think these are pretty good challenges this season.
Yeah, and then we also talk about like remember like where she just rants about Randy, just like, you have made my life hell since day one.
Forget you, go ho.
Goodbye.
You have a great auction episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, great auction episode
Randy
too. That's where Susie's fate was decided right there at the auction.
Yeah.
It was funny. You want the cookies? Like, no. It's like bro cared about his cookies way too much. Like, it was like, dude, oh my god, why do you care about the cookies that much?
And then he asked Jeff if he could take them all for himself. Like 20 cookies for himself. Like,
I mean, shoot, 20
That's
cookies.
Like, how to get hated by everybody, right?
I was gonna say he is not. At that point, that's when I knew there's no chance.
And bro, I wish Randy made it one more run further because apparently, like, he had no loved one. Just no one was gonna come for his loved one challenge. He'd just be by himself. Imagine if he won it and just like gave no one the loved ones. He would do that.
Something like that, yeah.
He would do that. I mean, like, he just like, I don't know. I wonder if I hope Randy finds peace in his life one day. But I mean. My god, like it's so funny how like much he hates everyone, just does not care for anybody. And then Bob gets replaced by Randy too. How did he get replaced by Randy?
Yeah. Who would you want to see come back from here that hasn't come back yet?
Kenny.
Yeah.
In a perfect world, Crystal Cox, but I mean,
Kenny and Crystal, and I would even like to see Maddie come back, but.
Yeah, I'm surprised Maddie hasn't come back.
And Ace would be good.
I think Maddie would do the best, but he'd be the least fun character to watch. I feel like.
He's like Fabio,
right,
to a degree, but I think he's actually
Fabio's fun, but he's not like worth the return to me at least.
I think Fabio would be a fun return
if it is.
He's grown up.
It's mostly because he won the game playing his strategy like that. You know what I mean? Like if he had got voted out in 5th. I feel like Fabio's not someone we're clamoring to have back.
Wait, what's Ace's actual name? Hold on, I'm looking it up. His name is actually Ace. That is his name, Ace. Ace Gordon.
Ace wasn't even on the ballot for second chances, right?
Yeah, no, I found out. How is he not coming back? I mean, his name is Ace, and he's a jewelry salesman. Like he looks like a jewelry salesman. Like this guy just looks so like conniving and scheming and stuff like that.
Yeah, he looks like if you saw him on the street trying to say something, bro, you'd be like, "Get away from me right now."
But he wasn't even like being like that distrustworthy. Like Sugar just
he wasn't
for, like no reason.
He was actually being like super trustworthy. And then like she wrote like Ace Hole or something like that, and everyone like got mad at him for like no reason.
Yeah, it was so weird.
Just shows Sugar's gameplay in that.
Which like probably like unintentionally was the right move, but like it's just like she's just such an emotional player. I think like Maddie said, was Maddie on that tribe? I forgot. But they said something. Or no, Crystal's on that tribe. I think she said something to Sugar, and they had like kind of a good relationship, Crystal and Sugar. So I guess she just believed her, Crystal. And then and instead of getting rid of Kenny, I think it was that round they would have gotten rid of Kenny. They they got rid of Ace, and that sucks because I would have at least wanted to see Ace give a jury speech. I want to know what that.
Yeah, that'd been cool. Yeah,
an Ace jury speech. I mean, like,
I think keeping Kenny is better. I'm fine keeping Kenny over Ace. I think Ace played his part, and I think what Kenny had to give after that Ace boot and what Ace had to, I would take I
don't know. Kenny I kind of got sour on Kenny near the end. He kind of got like.
Yeah, he got really cocky, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right. And that's like fun. Whereas I feel like Ace would have just flamed out the first episode post merge. Like
that's true.
Marcus just probably like does what they did to Clarence. Like the majority has so many numbers that they vote out like they're one rogue player. Like or like in Ghost Sound with Chris Noble, how like when the majority has so many numbers that they just vote out like their own player. I feel like that's what they would have done with Ace. Is like Marcus would have just voted out Ace like with Randy and Corinne and Bob.
I know, but that means they would have made it the merge and he would have gotten his jury speech. I want to hear the jury speech so bad.
Yeah, if he makes it the jury, he probably gets brought back.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he does.
I feel like he does. And I'm like, I want him back so bad because I swear to God, his accent's fake, and I will prove one day that his accent is fake. But like,
well, it'd be hilarious if he came back without the accent, wouldn't it?
I know, right? He was like,
it did, yeah. He came back. He was like, "Yo, what's up, partner?" You know, it's like
a country accent. Like he has like a country accent now. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, when he's speaking a different language, he's like speaks
That's
Japanese
like if he came back like
Mandarin
3 times, and he has a different accent every single time.
Each time,
like his thing.
I think Gabon. For me, I would put Gabon at the top of C tier. That's where I would put it.
I can't accept C.
Bro, you were just talking so good about it. What the heck?
I was gonna say I could accept top of B.
I'm fine with mid B if you want to compromise, because you both have A, I have top of C, so mid to high B is where the math says it should average.
The math is wrong.
so do you want to do above Amazon or below Amazon? That's the kind of the compromise.
Above Amazon, I would say.
Above.
Okay, cool.
All right, there you go. All right, token cheats. So the original JT season, the one season where he plays optimally the entire time.
I think this season's at the bottom of A tier for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would say that it could be at the top of A tier, but the issue is it's just like not strategically like all there. Although, I mean, you have some probably the most one of the most likable casts of all time, for me at least, because I like Coach for what he does for the show.
Oh, yeah, I love Coach.
I really I know it's not even that I like Coach as a person. I can just really appreciate someone who brings Survivor numbers and TV and things like that. And I think Coach did that, right? So I like that. I think Tyson played his role here fine. I actually think that so the fact that the majority alliance had flipped on itself, that's fun. But then the fact that because I'm watching Token Cheens and I just got to the merge, they're setting up this cross tribal alliance so hard right now, and then they just it's almost like Timbira flips on themselves and on the cross tribal alliance, so they kind of set up three tribes in a way where it's Jalapao, Timbira, and then this cross tribal alliance that has 4 people, and it's three tribes, and one of them wins in Jalapao, and the other 2 tribes lose almost.
This is also probably the best version of Exile Island, I would think.
Yeah, it's actually really pretty cool actually.
Because Coach is great on Exile.
Yeah,
and then you also have don't they offer mutinies on Exile kinda?
Something like that.
They offered it for the first episode with Brandon. With Brendan.
Yeah, they had the whole they're really I forgot how much they were pushing the whole Exile Alliance thing. It just came to be nothing actually.
Yeah. That happens I think a lot more than we think. They just don't air it.
Yeah, there probably is a lot of storylines that just don't get aired.
I think the reason that they aired it this season is so that we had some fun stuff in the pre-merge, because it's all they do on Exile Island is this time they sent Brendan and Sierra, or Brendan and Steven, or Brendan and Taj. This time it's and it's all setting it up, and then at the post merge it's a big blind step for Brendan, because we really wouldn't care about Brendan if we didn't know about this cross tribal alliance, but because we do now, it's when Brendan goes, this whole other alliance is basically dissembled, and the whole games is in shambles. Whereas if we didn't care about Brendan from the alliance, it would just be Timbira flipping on itself, which is very telegraphed in a way. It was very obvious that Coach and Tyson were going to flip on Brendan anyway, but now it has more grounds, I feel and that's really what helps the season. So I'm fine with bottom of A tier, behind Piranhas. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah, I mean, also, what's her name? Is her name Sierra? She gets dragged through the mud in this season. Jesus Christ! Coach just hated her for no reason, really.
It was weird because he was the only one who would talk to her, but he's also also didn't like her. It's weird.
Yeah, and remember in the water. So when Jerry gets sick, and Aaron realizes that she has a second chance, because Aaron was hanging out with the black girl Candace, and once Candace goes, now they're okay, well, you were the one associated with her, and she got all scared. So then when Jerry gets sick, Aaron's oh yes, when a coach says that we're gonna have to get rid of Jerry instead of you. And Coach does her grin in the water with Tyson, where he turns slowly. It's the Grinch smile. It's so funny. Oh, it's so perfect.
Doesn't
I felt bad for Jerry. I wanted Jerry to stay.
Yeah, no, actually, I really like Jerry. So bring me back. Also, doesn't Tyson say straight up to Sierra's face is oh yeah, I don't think you're smart enough to make an alliance or something like that.
I think he does say something like that.
He says something like that. Yeah. He's oh yeah, there's no secret alliance, by the way. And Tyson's oh yeah, I don't think you're smart enough to make one.
Tyson also gets too cocky and then goes.
Yeah.
Thing like Kenny.
This is actually I don't know. Because, like, I mean, probably in Heroes vs. Villains is the worst version of him, but is this like the second worst version of Tyson? Like on the game
Tyson
wise,
Tyson. As far as game,
yeah.
I mean, well, obviously Heroes vs. Villains is his worst game. He ruins.
Yeah, I'm
the
saying
game
this
for
is
his
second
entire
worst,
life.
right?
Yeah,
like,
that's definitely.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I could
his
see this
winning
being
game's
a better game than Winners at War.
Oh, whoa, sorry, Winners at War. I forgot. I would say this one.
Just because, like, I could see a definite
Yeah.
scenario where he could win.
Well, he also gets voted out Winners at War, so that kind of makes it automatically worse.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Well, he gets voted out this season, basically all up to his own doing. Where in like Winners at War was kind of like there was just no like really other available options. They just kind of voted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well,
but he also does play very aggressively, both in his pre-merge boot and also in his post-merge boot, where he's.
Whereas
like
post-merge boot is a bit more iffy, you know, obviously.
Right, but we also got to see less of it because the family visit wasn't in the episode. I remember that was the episode where I hopped on the specialist and I hopped on the RHAP, and I like no one could figure out who voted for who. It was like the weirdest split vote, and then like it didn't work. Then like the idle play didn't work, but like what if it had worked? And like everyone was just so confused, like what happened, and like so I'm sure there was more than we saw from that.
Oh, 100% those. Yeah, there's a lot more. So,
and at least Tyson voted for the right person in this season.
Right.
True. Yeah. I didn't he vote for Natalie because like she gave me peanut butter or something. I forgot. It was
I think because they're like good friends outside, but like that's lame.
Yeah.
And then I'm just mad that Tony was basically never guaranteed a perfect game because Jeremy was on the jury, and we all knew that like no matter what. I mean, Natalie could have just threw up on him like. And Final Tribal Council, he still would have voted for. I mean, like
Natalie could have just like. I'll tell you guys after we get off the air.
Oh
yeah, okay. Let me change the joke. Natalie could have, like Natalie could have just roasted like his entire family, and I think they're like almost family, so it was like different for them, right?
All right, so where are we putting the season again?
Bottom A.
I have it.
I'm good with that.
I have it like top B. Okay, yes, yeah. Bottom A. All right, perfect. Samoa, the Russell Hantz show, the actual show. What do you think about Samoa?
I think Samoa to me is an A-tier season. I actually like the fact that there isn't anyone to challenge Russell, except for numbers, right? I feel like Russell isn't fighting against any actual good players. He's just fighting against the fact that he literally comes in down like 8. There are 8 people who want to get Russell out at the post-merge. Like that's insane, right? Like, and then he somehow comes back using 3 very not so great players at the game, right? So, and I actually think the fact that he doesn't win at the end adds more interesting. Obviously, it's a lot more satisfying. But looking back, if Russell just wins the season, it feels like a one world like thing. Except it's like if Kim had to play front, like it would be like the most dominant, underrated, like or underdog.
If he wins, I think it's undisputable. He's the best winner.
I mean,
right.
And then imagine Russell on Winners at War, bro.
Because he was challenged by everybody else, right? So
he wasn't. Like, he was in a down position.
Right. Also, his cast is better than Redemption Island and One World's cast, so it would also be more impressive in that.
Yeah, he actually played with some players that probably were like at least like in their heads.
Well, like Monica and not Sierra.
Like these aren't like the best players ever, but like they're better than
Monica.
They're definitely better than One World for sure.
Right. Like Monica and then Sierra's mom that I can't remember, and Eric, and like these are decent players.
We also have some great players like Ben Browning and Yasmin.
Shambo, the secret mastermind of the whole season.
That's it.
Right? Didn't she like? I remember there's a tribal where like she was like surprised that people were strategizing. Jeff was like, Shambo, you're surprised that people were strategizing to stay in the
game. Jeff did not like that. But yeah, so for me, it's like okay, in a pre-merge, I mean, I think the pre-merge is kind of skippable, like for this season. But like,
I don't know, you get some cool stuff with Russell. Like,
right, I'm talking about like right now.
Well,
yeah, I'm talking about right now. For me, like I'm trying to build up Russell's game, and I feel like there's not much. Like for me, I like Russell's game in a pre-merge. I think like the way that he takes complete control of his tribe, where everybody trusts Russell. Like people always like dog on his social game, but that's not it. He's always had a pretty good social game. With people who he's aligned with, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody else has a pretty not so great social game. But
very similar to Brian Heidick.
Right. Where he is like, if you're with me, you're with me. If you're against me, you're against me. And I feel like that's like, I mean, it's perfectly Right. Russell to me is someone who, and on this season, it works perfectly for him because he's with people who are willing to stay with him even when the numbers are stacked against him because they trust Russell as a player. And I think it's super impressive. I think at the post merge you have Russell using his, you have Russell using his allies in Natalie and Jason and
Jason.
Jason, sorry.
I like Jason a lot when I watched this first time.
Me too. He uses those other allies to flip over people to get out Eric as the big merge boot. Then he does the Kelly Charball boot, or just he's basically finding idols at this point, and he finds one and somehow finds the exact person that they're voting for, which was him, right? It was him, right?
Yeah, it was him. Mm-hmm.
Right. Because they were bluffing, voting for Natalie to Natalie. And so it was very hard to tell. And he somehow figures it out, which is a real credit to his social game and social awareness. I mean, that is, I think it's the most impressive idol play of all time. That's just
I think it's the best idol play, honestly. Probably, or at least top 5.
Right, because like it's a complete like guessing game for him there. He has to get it right, and he somehow gets it. He somehow figures out. And on top of that, the way that he got that idol is also super impressive. Mm-hmm. Then I think a pretty underrated part of his game here, when he flips Eric, and then he uses Eric's vote to break the tie, right? Because it's 10 people left after the Kelly boot. He flips Eric to make it 6-4, and then once he votes out someone from the Galoos, he then votes out Eric in the very next episode, which I think is a great move to flip somebody, knowing that that person knowing that they're going to probably get turned on, and then you turn on them, and then to me that's super impressive. And then he is able to keep his people together, have them not flip on him at 8 or 7 or 6, which is where they all should have flipped on him, to be honest, because he was completely vulnerable there, and he gets to the end and loses because the jury just doesn't like him. So yeah,
he also needs to come in a little bit more humble. But
right. Although I feel like they this jury was never voting for us. Like it was never going to happen.
I would love to see a world where he treats that tribal council like Todd or Chris from Vanuatu.
Right. I still think he loses. I think this jury was just coming in and it's not that they were never going to vote for him, but as soon as they were voted out, I think that's when they had made a decision not to vote for Russell.
Yeah, that's pretty crappy.
Yeah, it does suck.
It does unfortunately suck. I mean, this season is probably better if it's a Russell one, because just Natalie, it's kind of like Erica at 41, just isn't a satisfying winner. I mean, it's people on the internet can say whatever, but seriously, who is a more satisfying winner? It's basically
of course
a fact. It's basically a fact, not really opinion. It's when you give this guy had how many confessionals? Yeah, I mean, he had so many confessionals. I mean, dude was everywhere on. I'm looking it up right now. I mean.
If say Mick won, right, instead of Natalie because of the bitterness, no one's saying, oh, Mick secretly was really good.
Yeah.
So I just think there's it's just because Natalie's.
It's just queen rhetoric.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sucks.
Natalie's the same as Mick to me.
He had 108 confessionals, I think it says.
That's great. Wait, didn't Cochran have 108? I think, or 100 plus.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it was Russell, and then I don't even think Tony had 100.
Natalie
Russell,
White, the winner this
14.
season, it says,
14
got 1.08 confessionals per episode.
Yep,
too many if you ask me.
She killed a rat.
Yeah, if they had built her up as the Wendell. Obviously, it's hard to do that. But
it's impossible. She don't have the charisma like Wendell had.
Right. But even if they show her saying nothing, at least we know her name at the end.
That's why I really think she wasn't that good at all, and they really proves that it's a bitter jury.
I think I also have a different perspective because I watched the season having heard Russell's name, knowing who he is. I knew everything about this season before. I knew exactly how he lose. I knew who voted for him. That's really how I watch every single season, aside from 21, 22, 23, 33, and 34, and then my live seasons. I've watched every season spoiled on the winner. And like for me, I think it's almost helped me like not be like, oh my god, they didn't win. Like, like as annoying as seeing Russell lose, I was definitely like emotionally prepared to watch Russell become an awesome character and then watch him lose to Natalie. So I feel like for me, I was less heartbroken about it than maybe you guys were. Whereas in like watching. Yeah, whereas in like we were all heartbroken watching like a Xander lose to Erica, getting 0 votes. Like, you know what I mean? Like that. Like so if like you're telling me that this watching it live felt like a Xander but like 10 times worse, then I can 100.
I mean,
I watched this live and it was probably the worst thing in the world.
I mean, let me just give you some quick statistics real quick. All right, so like I said, Russell Hantz on Samoa, had 108 confessionals. All right. Tony Vlachos in his entire Survivor career has 182 confessionals.
Wow.
Rupert on his entire Survivor career has 151 confessionals. Sari has 161. Benjamin has 167. And again, like Russell on one season has like 50 less confessionals than these people. Jeremy has 121. Sandra has 118 plus 2 on Edge of Extinction. So she has 120 in her entire Survivor career.
That's crazy.
Malcolm Freeberg only has 2 more confessionals
hold on.
in his entire Survivor career.
Hold on. If you take away Sandra's, I don't know the those things, she's probably at 108. So that means that Russell has more confessionals in one season than Sandra has.
This one's going to blow your mind.
Seasons.
Jonathan Pinner in his 3 times on Survivor has only 4 more confessionals than Russell did on Samoa.
Wow. That is.
I mean, that's just to put into perspective. Now let's get the people that he has more confessionals in. He has more confessionals than Aubrey in her 3 times. He has more confessionals on Samoa than Amanda Kimmel in her 3 times.
Wow.
He has more than Tyson in his 4 times.
God, bro, that's insane.
He has more in Samoa than Kelly Wentworth in her 3 times, more than Ethan Zahn in his 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, he has more than Sierra Easton in her 3 times. I mean, he has more than James Clement in his 3 times on Survivor.
So, like for me,
Samoa.
For me, it's like a lot of people say like, oh, the reason why they were fine, like throwing their winner out and like having us all be mad at the winner of Samoa and mad at the ending of Samoa and disappointed that he didn't win is because Russell got far in Heroes vs. Villains and that they had filmed them back to back. But I think even if Russell goes at that Tyson boot where Tyson ruins it, even if Tyson votes correctly and Russell's like the 4th boot of the season, I still think that they were fine throwing away this season just to have Russell be the character that he is. He had 108 confessionals.
Do you think that'll ever be topped?
No.
108?
No.
Especially now that everyone has to be equally
right.
Confessions,
everything's all equal. Yeah, everything's all equal now. So definitely not. I feel like I think we'll maybe get another character as big as Russell. Maybe
even though Shan kind of had that going for her.
Yeah, like if Shannon had gotten to the end and like lost, like it gotten second or even won, I feel like
she
Shan
won.
probably.
I feel like
Shan had like what? Like Shan had like 51 confessionals. Like that's and she missed 5 episodes. So if she gets like maybe 2 double-digit episodes there, and then the finale, which is always a double-digit episode, I mean that's almost 100 there for Shan. Shan could get to like 92. Shan could have gotten to like 92, like I think, or like 90-ish. But I feel like Russell, to me, even if Russell doesn't get up far on HVV, I think Russell still gets edited ridiculous in this season just because he's such a gold mine for TV.
Yeah, I completely
agree. Yeah, she had 51 confessionals.
I know.
But Erica had 39. Ooh.
Oh, very good.
Crazy.
Yeah, just trying.
But Russell really did change the game, so it makes sense why he was so.
He did. He truly is a game changer. Survivor game changer.
I think that
better.
Like I don't think that they were fine throwing away their entire season. Like like the basic things like having an edited winner. They were fine breaking their entire season just to have Russell be on the screen for so long because he's.
And everyone loved it at the time. Maybe like hardcore like Stans, Queens didn't. But like the casual audience loved this.
Loved it. Yeah.
I mean, it was. I mean, I can't imagine watching that live. I wish I was there to watch it live.
I would be so heartbroken. I would be so mad. I would be like, I would like literally like start yelling. Like
I think
it would be
cool,
like Xander was like one like really tough night of sleep. This would be like me legitimately like I might have actually cried like shed a tear. Like I'm not joking.
Xander was at least 3 nights of tough sleep for me. That was at least 3 for me.
Really? Yeah.
I'm looking at the confessional counts. Ricard actually has 3 less confessionals than Erica. That's crazy.
Wow.
I mean,
that's actually
really.
Yeah. He has 36.
Well,
and she had.
He was quiet
also had
at the beginning of the
finale.
merge.
True.
Yeah, he
Ricard was very quiet.
Well, he was
Heather with 13 confessionals. Let's go. I mean that.
The fact that Natalie got 14 or what, like something like that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. Heather's confessional was an average of 1 per episode.
That's nuts.
Oh my god.
I think what's saved the Russell thing a little bit is that he was going to be on Heroes vs Villains, so you're like, well, maybe he'll win this one. So.
And then he gets to the end again.
Yeah.
I'll say Heroes vs.
Villains
was more of his fault. Heroes vs. Villains was probably more of his fault though.
No, I agree.
Right.
Watching these back to back, you're like, come
like,
on.
I mean, he calls Rupert a dumbass.
But like Rupert is a dumbass.
I mean, he is.
Right, but like to say it out loud.
No, I know.
Right,
I know.
obviously. Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
He's a dumbass, Rupert. He's like,
shut up, Rupert. Like, it's like, what?
He's like, Rupert, the second coming of Christ, Rupert. He's like,
that's the kind of characters you need, right? Like they'll just say, like, they don't have a filter.
I mean, he totally was going insane by like the end of Heroes vs. Villains, though.
Right.
But imagine if that was you. Like you knew you lost that last season and you played amazing.
Well, no, he didn't know. He probably thought he won.
Well, he didn't know it, right?
No, he did. He
just didn't get to see why he lost, kind of.
How did he know he lost the last season?
Well, so formally he didn't, but he said on a podcast. I didn't really dig for this, but I mean, like one time I was like listening to podcasts and like he mentioned one podcast, so I went to that one, and then in that one he talked about. He said 2 weeks after Samoa ended, meaning I'm guessing this is like the week before he left for Heroes vs. Villains, right?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Shambo had called him, and apparently like after he got home, he told his wife, "I won." And they like had celebrated and bought all these dinners like the next 2 weeks like and celebrated.
That's so Russell.
And then hold on. And then I guess Shambo calls him and Shambo's and there's talking and I think Russell doesn't even bring it up and Shambo does. She's like, "You like know that you didn't win, right?" And Russell's like, "What?" And then Shambo's like, "Yeah, you didn't win. They didn't vote for you." And she's like, "I did, but they didn't." And Russell, he says he hung up the phone and like he didn't talk to his wife for like several weeks. It sounds like it was really, really tough for him. For him to get to that.
I mean, after playing a game like that and not winning, I mean, imagine like being him after doing that, like actually being on the island and stuff like that, and not winning. It's like that's
and then crazy. Going back and playing again really, and not winning again.
Yeah. So he went in Heroes vs. Villains knowing, or at least like having a really good idea that he lost. Although, like, I'm sure he definitely didn't want to like think about it or admit it, or maybe he thought like that was like the one jury who would never respect his game, but like the rest of the juries would. I don't know.
Well, he doesn't get to watch himself and see like his mistakes, which is a big thing.
Yeah, I mean, if Russell Hantz doesn't win in Samoa, I don't think he ever wins Survivor. Really, I mean, if he comes back now, he's not going to win.
Yeah, he needs to be a player that you know nothing about from Maduro.
Right.
It's like that's why Sandra will never win Survivor.
I mean, that's why it's crazy that Tony won.
Yeah, which I mean, that's still crazy to me. I mean, like, he's like he put down his sweat level and stuff like that, and was like not doing that much. But it's Tony. It's like
it is the fact that like okay, ask me coming out of Cagayan and tell me that he comes back 6 years from now and he wins again in a 12 to something vote, like I would be like, what? No way. Like that's insane.
Especially with Edge of Extinction in play and stuff like that. I mean, that just hurt him even more. And it's like he still was able to and like with good players too, like there's really good players on this cast.
If there's no Edge in that season, he still wins. It's like that's
the Edge hurt him more than anything because Natalie came back and stuff like that.
I think that really was helpful. I think helpful though that it was all winners. The threat level goes down.
Right.
So I think Russell would need like the best of the best players.
He would need legends.
He would need to be on
like 10 winners and then like maybe 8 non-winners. But like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that's his best shot.
But he'd need like Suri level non-winners, like like
right. He would need like 10 winners and then like Rob, Suri, Malcolm, They might just bring back Joe because it's Joe or something, or like, and then
I mean, they might not bring back Joe anymore after.
Well, I guess so,
incident,
but like, and then
I mean,
I'm trying to guess like
they bring Russell back.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, do they bring Russell back for like Legends? I mean, I feel like they have to, but like he's obviously not good.
I think you guys overestimate like how in touch with the world Jeff Probst is. Jeff Probst is not watching Russell Hantz's YouTube channel.
No, yeah, I know that, but like some like, and then telling him.
Yeah, and also just like I mean, Russell would have been brought back obviously before if they actually liked him. I mean, after I mean, like Game Changers, like he doesn't come back for Game Changers. Like I mean,
and on top of that, like Fair Play has said out loud, or he called like the casting director, the director of casting, and he asked him like who's in the blacklist, and they were like, you want the honest answer? Like, there's only 2 people. It's Spilo and Scoopin. Everybody else has a chance to come back.
I just don't believe they'd ever give an honest answer to that question.
Right, I get it. But he also didn't tell them that they were on camera. So
I mean, but I think it is pretty good that they do, in fact, have Spilo and Scoopin on the blacklist.
Right. Yeah.
It'd be really weird if Scoopin was like the only one brought back.
Right.
It's like Survivor Legends, and it's just Scoopin. He's the only person on the island. It's
like, Survivor, I think, really jumped the shark now.
Survivor heroes versus villains, but literal heroes versus villains.
Survivor just villains.
Survivor just villains.
So Survivor Scoopin versus sharks. We just put a Scoopin on an island and have sharks approach the island at all times.
No, throw them out in the middle of the ocean and put a bunch of like meat or like blood around them. Yeah,
just like
I'd watch that season.
Survivor actual heroes versus actual villains. We have like people like Dan Spilo, Jeff Varner, Michael Scoopin on the villains tribe.
Brian Heidick,
First Cochran. No, Heidick does not belong on there.
Yes, he shot a dog with a crossbow.
He shot. I don't even know that full story. Did he kill the dog? Was it on purpose?
Yeah, he killed the dog. He murdered the dog with a crossbow.
Look, he shot a dog with a crossbow, but did it die?
He murdered his. It wasn't like it was his dog.
Yeah, but like, why did he shoot it?
I'm guessing it was because of fucking sick. I mean, obviously, it's not.
Yeah, that's a guess. Though. Like, what if like was I don't know? People shoot their dogs back in the day.
No, I'm sorry.
For all kinds of reasons.
Please do not try to.
Did it have rabies? Did it try to attack him or someone?
I'm guessing we would have heard about that, but by now, if that was the case, I'm guessing. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
All right,
maybe. Okay.
Where would we rank Samoa? Where
I think Samoa is behind Peralans and ahead of Tocantins. So you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The only downside is that Russell with the idols really ruined idols.
Right. But like in this individual season, I think it's fine.
Yeah, for sure. It was great really here, but then it like I hate how they
I disagree. I think that advantages ruin idols because then people became so obsessed with like I mean if you look at it, 27, 28, and 29 all have great idol scenarios. Like I feel like it really gets ruined when the other advantages come and convolute the idols, and then now you have 7 idols and 7 advantages in the game all at once. You know?
I more mean just the way they go about hiding the idols. I like when they're like dug underground and you get a bunch of clues.
Oh yeah. Like
I hate just like tossing them in the woods.
Finale type of thing.
Yeah. That's the only thing I mean by that. Is I rather them still have to rely on clues. Just make them harder to find. Right. It's not like
I guess
don't know.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So is how we're gonna put it right there.
Yep. Here's the villains. I would put the season. I would put it below Samoa. That's my personal opinion. I would put it like maybe for me. The swing for me is it ahead of or behind Tocantins? Where's the swing for you guys?
I think it's above Tocantins.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys also think that Heroes vs. Villains is overrated? So
yeah,
I think it is, but like the cast is still so amazing.
Yeah, right. Like it's still in my opinion the best cast ever, if not behind Winners at War. Like, that's what I just said.
Yeah, I think it's even better than Winners at War, just personality.
Yeah, to me.
Your opinion is wrong, so you know.
Well, that's the thing. It's like Winners at War has a better cast as far as like it has the best players to ever play. But
strategists, for sure.
Right. But Heroes vs. Villains has a better cast, like the better people on the season. I feel like that's what Sky is thinking about is who the best players to ever play the game.
Oh, yeah.
Is Tony on Heroes versus Villains? I don't think so.
He's not. He hadn't played yet.
I know.
He's not,
exactly.
but Russell is, and Russell's not on.
Russell's like a meaner version of Tony, I guess. I don't know. It's like a shorter. Well, no, Tony's
they do play very
too.
differently, though. I think.
Yeah,
they're just big personalities.
Yeah.
I think Tony will cut his main ally, whereas Russell will legitimately bring his ally to the end.
Which is like weird when you think about it. If you think about the right people, it's like
Tony, no, like if you think about afraid of bringing goats really because he knows he can beat them anyone.
Yeah. No, yeah. Right. Russell's actually like a very like loyal person to like his people. You know, like
And it's also the fact that it's also the fact that Tony was much better at maintaining his social bonds because when Tony was flipping on his own alliance and Spencer and Tasha were trying to tell his own alliance that he's flipping on them, they were like, oh, you guys are just the enemy right now. Like, it's like, whereas if Russell does that, he's not as good as Tony at that specific thing.
Yeah, Tony has a better social game.
Yeah,
he doesn't make it personal.
Right. Yeah,
at least it doesn't feel personal.
I feel like before Winners at War, you can maybe say like, oh, it's because of Trish or whatever, but after Winners at War, no, he definitely, great. Okay, so Heroes vs. Villains. I think it's mid A. I think right. So where would we?
Yeah,
it's
I would say behind Samoa. But if you guys really want to go above Samoa,
I think it's got to be above Samoa just because you're still getting it's basically the same.
You're
Russell game.
You're right.
Yeah, I feel like
and the cast is just way better.
It's like a slightly worse Russell game with a better cast. Yeah, you're right.
That's definitely the not Russell's worst game, obviously, if you know, because but like games where he actually got to play. This is his worst. Definitely his worst.
Well, I mean, like from a viewer's perspective, I think it's more fun to watch Russell and Samoa, but it's still a lot of fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
in Heroes vs. Villains.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying like it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like out of the two. I think. Strategically, just obviously, I mean, socially, he just is a mess this season. I mean, like, is just not good. I mean, calling people dumbasses to their face is never a good strategic move.
It's never a good strategic move.
Social move. I mean,
put that like write a book of worst strategies. Number 1, don't call Rupert a dumbass.
By Russell
to his face. To his face.
Yeah, to his face.
Right. Yeah, no, not He didn't just say it like behind he said it like straight to his face. He's like, I mean, I don't know, was his head in the right place? Probably not. I feel like he was kind of going crazy in the later days.
Well, Russell had said, I feel like I'm becoming weird super fan guy, but Russell had said on a podcast that in Heroes vs. Villains, like pre-merge, Jeff was because in Samoa, Russell would always try and talk a tribal and be like the big personality, and Probst loved it. He was always looking at him to see if Russell had like that look in his eye, and he said that in Heroes vs. Villains. Like in the pre-merge, Jeff realized that Russell needed some like recharging time. So like at Tribal, like Jeff would look at Russell and Russell would always just look down, and Jeff would always know to move on. And so it's like it seemed like Russell was definitely exhausted from.
Yeah, I mean you can't blame him. I mean, like what? This is the first time they ever did back-to-back seasons, right? And I think it was like 2 weeks, right? Is that how long it was?
Well, no.
This was the second or third time they did it.
Sure.
Yeah, because China and Micronesia
with
Amanda and James. Yeah, Amanda did the same thing as Russell, basically, right?
No. Amanda's season had already been on its third week of airing before.
You're right.
Yeah, no, they weren't like back to back like 2 weeks.
No. The first. Well, I guess the first like really back to back is Samoa Heroes vs. Villains. But Gabon and like really what had happened was 15 and 16 was the first time they did it. But they just did it like a lot farther, and then 17, 18 was a little bit closer, and then 19.
No, I'm saying like they really did it like weeks apart. Like I mean, with the other two, I think like a couple episodes maybe out by the time they filmed the next one. This one there was like what basically back to back 2 weeks.
By the time that they had started filming, and then also All Stars and Piranhas was also the same thing where Rupert has got like it had gotten to like the 7th episode of Piranhas, and when All Stars aired. Yep.
What about Guatemala and Palau?
Guatemala Palau was not very far away. It's also an even and then odd, so it wouldn't be anyway. Usually it's odd and then even are filmed. So, and also on top of that, it just wasn't how it was back then. They would let like the whole season air, and then they get feedback on it.
Yeah, it was filmed. Palau started filming on October 27, 2004, ended on December 4th, and Guatemala was, let me see. Guatemala started June 27th, ended August 4th. Yeah, so 2005. So yeah, this is like the first time they really like fast, like paced, obviously. So but like I mean, it probably gave Russell an edge though, because obviously, like no one knew his game. All they said was.
Yeah, he doesn't go as far at all.
Yeah, I mean, they did tell him like he's one of the most notorious villains in cinematic history.
He might actually go out like pretty early. Like
I actually think that he still gets to the merge. Look, let me
tell you why. Hold
on. Just trust me. Danielle and Parvati would see themselves in Natalie, and they would still go with him. Same thing happens in pre-merge. I think that the difference is JT does not trust Russell. And does not, get played by Russell and write that letter. And you know what I mean? So I feel like the pre-merge probably still happens the same, because all Russell needs is 3 people, because Russell's just that good. Maybe he doesn't flip Coach and Jerry in the
I don't think Coach goes with them.
Yeah, but maybe I don't know, or maybe he finds an idol because he's not confident. Like again, I feel like Russell can somehow still stumble to the post-merge. I think he can't get the JT boot, and the heroes now trust Sandra, and Sandra flips over with them, and I feel like that's the difference. Is people people like JT and Sandra, who are kind of quelled by Russell's moves at the merge because they just didn't know who he was. Those don't work out. Whereas, and I feel like Parvati and Danielle might see like themselves in Natalie and be like, oh great, like I'll latch on to Russell and then beat him at the end. Perfect.
Well, there's rumors that people told someone in production told Parvati to line with Russell.
Yeah,
for that reason.
I would believe that, just because like I think they wanted Russell to rule 2 seasons in a row because they already had known how good Russell was. Maybe again, this is like the Stacey Stillman thing where like with Stacey, they like told people this is similar to how they like told Jervis to get in an alliance, where Jervis was said to the guy in the confessional, I don't want to get into alliance, and the guy was like, well, has that worked out for you so far? And Jervis was like, well, I guess it hasn't. I'm gonna get in an alliance. That's them persuading somebody, but not necessarily doing anything malicious.
I think this was before even the season started.
Right.
But that's just like kind of like
really?
Yeah,
I mean, this is kind of just more like he said, she said, though. Like, I mean, there's not really much to prove it, huh?
That's he said. It sounds like he said, she said.
Yeah, it's just like it's kind of hard to prove. I'm probably right.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I think it's something like Parvati was on good terms with somebody, and they gave her a heads up because
maybe
if they knew beforehand that like Natalie won, and they're like, hey, Parvati, if you want to like win, I would align with this guy. Because his number 1 girl wins, but
true. I don't think
that's what I heard. I'm not saying it's for sure.
I think that if that happened, I don't think they told Parvati that like Natalie won, but they probably gave her a heads up like, this guy's crazy. You should align with him, bro. Like he's really good. He's really good at the game. So I can believe that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, basically like that.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to move on to
Nicaragua. Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, so Nicaragua, I feel like to me is an F tier season. As good as it is, I feel like it's still like take a step back from like now it's popular like Nicaragua, but it's still like I think it's the best F tier season. But I think considering what we have at C tier, and then watching Nicaragua, like watch Panama and then watch Nicaragua, I feel like those are 2 different levels of seasons to me. I would say very, very top of F tier, or at the very best, like bottom of C tier.
All right,
I would put it in C.
I would put it. I don't think it's on bad, like par with Fiji and Thailand. I mean, I think those are just awful.
I think
I think
still bad.
I think Nicaragua was at least watchable at some points.
The final 3 is a pretty interesting final 3.
Sure.
Yeah, I thought Chase honestly had no chance. It was surprising to see him get that many votes.
It's probably the best. I mean, I think it's the best final travel of all time. With like some of those character speeches are awesome. Mm-hmm. I think the issue is like there's the rest of the season you have to look at. Like, do you like the pre-merge, right? Like it's fun. Like it has some banter. Obviously, it has like that Gabon train wreck feel, but it doesn't have the characters of Gabon. It doesn't have Susie's and Kenny's
and Marty's.
Close, though. I don't think they're anywhere near
Marty's
it.
The fact that Marty's never come back saddens me.
Yeah, Marty's awesome. I think Marty's awesome. I think Brenda's
I think he has
awesome.
some pretty interesting pre-merge characters too.
But let me tell you some characters from season. Ready?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Ready?
Let's look these out.
Eve Rojas, like
who?
Jill Bim, like
what did he say?
Kelly Baruno. I mean,
who are you?
Alina,
wait, Jill was a pretty
Wilson.
interesting character. She was like Marty's number 2, right?
Bro,
Jill
she had like 2 confessionals.
Lady, right?
We did have Jimmy Johnson on this season, which would have been cool.
I hated Jimmy Johnson being on the season.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so I like watching him. This was also my first season, so it's funny. Like Siri picked a season. Yeah, cool Siri picked a season, and like my first season, and Siri picks it randomly, and it has Jimmy Johnson, so it's perfect, and it's really easy to
might have quitted.
Digest.
He definitely
right?
quit.
Oh yeah, he definitely.
But we also have amazing players on this season, like Shannon Elkins. I mean,
Shannon Elkins, great. Like he's a great for entertainment.
He kind of pulled like a mini Jeff Varner on. Like he's
what
like, "Are you
saying
gay?"
about
He was like, "Are you gay?" He just like went to.
He's a great he's a great guy. Like you can hate that goes early. It gives you something to like root against.
Yeah, we also have we also have the worst probably player ever on the season, Wendy.
You're naming all the bad ones.
I know, but no, I'm saying like Wendy Joe is probably the worst player survivor.
She is the worst player to ever play.
But no, I will say like we do have some amazing characters like future Malcolm, Jimmy. I mean,
yeah, Jimmy T is hilarious.
I think Tyrone's also pretty good, underrated.
Tyrone's pretty good.
Homie, bro.
Yeah. Again, Marty. I mean, this is the first time we had Brenda.
I liked Ben Reed, Dan Limbo.
I think Neonka's okay if she didn't quit.
Neonka's like an actual villain. Like she's someone you legitimately, like, no matter where you're from, no matter what your political beliefs are, no matter how much you think she's a queen. No, everybody hates Neonka. You know,
she's a great villain.
Well, that's the thing is we hate her because she is so flamboyant and hot Cheeto girl. The people who like those people hate her because she's quote unquote ableist or something. Like everybody can find something to hate about Neonka because it's Neonka. She's like a very hateable person.
Can we also talk about the Benry loser dismount, that backflip he did? I mean, that was. I love that.
Yeah,
that was. And then also, I don't know why Jane gets a lot of love. I did not like Jane.
Oh yeah, Jane's. I think Jane's really a villain.
Or hate Jane.
If you really look at it, Jane's actually the villain. Like I mean,
but I think she's a good villain though.
We also have Dan, who gave actually a good jury speech.
He's hilarious. Dan.
Didn't he sit like a giant chair one time or something? I forget.
Yeah, a giant chair. He also gets his really nice, expensive shoes. All
shoes.
He looks he sounds like a mob boss. I mean, he sounds
like full on Italian mafia guy.
Yeah.
Dan Lembo is his name, right?
Yeah, Dan Lembo, yeah.
He could be a future Boston Rob.
And then we also have Chase Rice on this season, who's like
Chase Rice,
a big country guy now, like a really big
the most famous person.
He sings it at the finale.
My ex-girlfriend, because you know girls will post selling the story. My ex-girlfriend likes country music. She posted like a thing about Chase Rice's tour. I swiped up. I'm like, "Yo, that is Chase from Survivor. What the hell are you doing there?"
It's crazy.
She was like,
he's actually a huge country star now. It's it's so
random.
random.
Because she'll post like stuff like all the really A-list people, and then there's Chase-O mixed in with these names that I know. It's like what?
I mean, he is a pretty big country.
I'm surprised how big he is.
He's probably too big. And I really thought that Fabio had in the bag after Final Trouble comes. I thought it was gonna be a jury sweep, and it turns out Chase actually was a pretty good player. Actually, I didn't really see it the first time, but Chase is actually
Sash is a good
player. Yeah, I just think Sash just comes off as too much of an asshole to win.
He's got that sleaziness to him, but
he's very smart.
He's a great strategist, I think, though.
Yeah. I mean, but. Yeah, the fact that Chase actually almost wins surprised me. I thought he was done, but no, he actually got
I think someone like Albert is a better version of Sash. I feel like Albert is a better player than Sash is. He plays the same game as Sash, except people don't come down on Albert as hard as they do on Sash.
I don't know. I think Sash controls his game more than Albert does.
No, I'm talking about final travel performances. Everybody hates Sash.
Yeah, sure.
Even Brenda hates Sash. And they're number one allies. People like Albert.
The big thing was, I think Sash offered, Jane or something to split money or something. And you can't do that in Survivor.
Right. Well,
I know. I'm saying that plays a little bit of effect with stuff.
Do you buy into the conspiracy theory that they informed the jury that they weren't allowed to vote for Sash?
I could buy that. Yeah,
I could buy that.
I don't. I think I mean, I don't know. To me,
it doesn't really matter though. It doesn't really matter though. It still plays out the same. I mean,
right. I'm just bringing it up for fun, but because they like asked Marty point blank, and if there's anybody who would not be controlled by production at this point because he hasn't come back, it's Marty. And they asked him into I believe to 2020, and he said no. So like point blank no. So
I just looked it up. I mean, yeah, Chase Rice has like 3 million monthly listeners on Spotify. That's actually pretty good. I mean,
that's crazy. That's insane.
Yeah.
His most like streams one has 244 million streams. Yeah.
Put it into perspective. Like Jake has like 50. So Chase has what, like almost 10% of what Jake like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he has a Florida line feature on one of his. I mean, like, yeah, his most streamed one is like 244 million. So it's like, yeah, bro's balling. Yep. Like, I mean, yeah, that's actually
crazy.
That's actually crazy. Like, I mean, but look at Chase and like his picture. Like, bro has like basically a bald head and stuff. Like, what is this? Like, do you see his profile, his cast picture?
Yeah, I mean, it's very short.
Put this into perspective. Jason Aldean, which is like I don't know anything about country music, but that's like the only name I know. Right? Like, well, I don't know, but that's just like that's the first name that came to my head. And he has 6 million monthly listeners. Chase has half as much as a dude that I know. Like, he is gigantic. He's definitely the most famous person to come from Survivor.
Yeah, like he's not even like no one would like if someone said like, "Hey, it's Chase from Survivor." They're like, "What?"
What? No,
they'd be like Chase, the famous country singer. Like, oh yeah,
Chase Rice. That's actually crazy. I mean, but where are we gonna put the season? Like bottom C, top F.
I'm fine with C. My issue is if we're looking at the rest of the seasons. Are you guys fine with only having 2 F tier seasons? Like to me, that's.
Let me say this. I think there are 2 seasons coming up that are worse than this season.
Let's Let's wait. If we need to bump down Nicaragua, then we can.
All right. And speaking of seasons that are worse than Nicaragua, I believe that Redemption is worse than Nicaragua.
This is a F tier season. I think it's better than these two. But
if you like Boston Rob, then you'll like this season. But like I like Boston Rob, and I enjoy watching him just absolutely steamroll his way through the game. No competition whatsoever.
I think he's what keeps this season at the top of the F tier. Put it that way. Imagine that he keeps the season at the top of the F tier. Whereas if he's not here, this is the worst season ever. I mean, it's not even close, to be honest.
What do you think, Ritter? What do you think on this season?
I mean, so like it was exciting at the time. You're like, oh, Russell and Boston Rob coming back.
Right.
But like if you really look at it, just like it really seems like production is like, let's get Boston Rob a win.
Yeah, I mean, like
feels so
these
icky
players are like just so it feels like they just handed him the win. Also, like they really like. But if you guys watched like commercials and stuff before the season, like they really like set this up as like a Russell versus Boston
Giant
Rob.
Versus Giant. Yeah.
And Russell ends up getting 19th place because Redemption.
There's like
because his tribe was actually kind of smart.
Right.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I feel like Russell Hantz, their tribe. I mean, them throwing the challenge. I mean, made their tribe lose the numbers and stuff like that. And then Boston Rob was able to. And like, I do think Boston Rob plays well, but like. These players are horrible players, and I think it shows that Boston Rob's really out of touch when it comes to him as a player because he tried to do the buddy system in Winners at War. Winners at War, he tried to do the buddy system. It's
yeah, I know. He only has one strategy.
Yeah,
that's why I don't think he's as great as everyone.
It just doesn't work. Now, I do think it's impressive that he was able to get to the post swap, but I feel like that's more circumstantial, and other people just kind of want to use him as a meat shield than him actually being a good player. But like. He didn't play bad, obviously, this season. He played great, but like all he did, really, if you're thinking about it, was just play optimally. I mean, like he didn't like his biggest move was probably the Matt Blind side, which I do think is pretty. That's probably his best move he's actually ever made on the show. Is the Matt Blind side, I would say, because I mean, like
he probably would have lost to him.
Yeah, I mean that basically just guarantees them that his tribe is going to get to the end, and
I mean, I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm mixing up Matt and Grant.
No, Matt Elrod, the merge boot where he's able to flip everyone on him because he said, I was thinking about flipping on you, but I'm good with you now and stuff like that. So, that's probably his best move. Where like no matter what happens, Matt goes home. It doesn't matter if Ralph, I think it was, who played the idol, plays it for the right person. Matt still goes home. I mean, great blindside, obviously. But like that's probably the highest moment of the season. It's like before that it was bad. After this it's bad. It's just like I mean, watching Zapatero go out one by one is just obviously not fun, and really none of even the cast itself just isn't good. It's like if they are bad players but they are good characters,
there we go.
That's a whole other story. But if they were good, if they're bad players and they're bad characters, probably the best one from that come from that's like Ralph, maybe. I don't know. It's like
I like Steve Wright.
Yeah, I think he had some too. Then we have the Philip and Steve situation. Which is
Steve Wright is like the older blonde, like
no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Then we have,
I think like Stephanie was good too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Murphy's fine.
Yeah, and then we have the whole
Murphy is embarrassing for his.
And then there's like Philip and Steve stuff, just like real icky, and stuff like that. It's just like obviously not fun. And then but by the time Matt goes home, if you had any doubt in your mind before, that Rob's gonna win. It's like, what's the point of watching the next episodes when Rob's gonna win? And then watching the final tribal council, it's sex because Natalie and Philip are just praising Rob and they're like, oh yes, Rob. Yeah, and it's like, are you gonna do anything to even try to win? Like, nah, let's just hand it over to Rob. And then Philip gets a vote from Ralph for some reason.
Just crazy.
Which is like so weird. It's like that was like Ralph out of all people votes for Philip.
I think that just shows how Rob would not have won against anybody else except for those two guys.
Which is crazy because of how.
Think of it this way: Philip has a vote, Zaner does not.
Wow.
You also got Jeff saying he's carrying everyone on his family on his back.
Yeah, he is literally carrying his family on his back. It's
like oh my god.
I mean, we all knew that Jeff was just hyping him up. Like, Jeff, just go ahead and kiss him already. Like, come on.
Just switch up.
If the show would have ended with that, then the season goes up a few.
Yeah, like if they just end it right when he says he's carrying his family on his back, just cut to when he wins the season. It's like, okay,
yeah,
it's
Jeff is kissing him.
You didn't really miss that much, I mean, I can't imagine how Jeff felt when Rob proposed to Amber. I mean, his heart must have been shattered.
Yeah, he's like, what?
I mean, he's like, what's going on here? Like, he was like, you didn't propose to me. I thought you were gonna propose to me. But yeah, I mean, do we all think this season should be F tier? Like,
yes. Yeah. I also think the Matt stuff on Redemption Island is really cringe.
Yeah.
What's the Mets? What happened with him?
Isn't it constant Bible stuff? It's like
it's like praying and stuff. It's kind of
that's how they don't have much to show. It's like we're talking about this.
Matt is supposed to be our returnee from the season. Like Matt was asked back for Caramel in second.
He was
behind. It was Philip and then Matt that they called.
Oh my god, they actually put Philip on over. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah. No. I mean. Yeah. All right. There really isn't that much to say about the season. I mean. I'm surprised that Andrea has came back from the season 3 more times.
I mean, she's overrated.
She is overrated. Yeah. I mean,
she is overrated.
They always bring her back whenever they have a chance, but she never plays super great. She always just plays mediocre. She'll be that person that always makes the merge, but she never wins.
Right.
Yeah.
We have Francesca. I guess you could say
cannot manage her threat level. That's her issue.
I don't think she's that good at strategy either.
Yeah, if you look at it, she's gotten very lucky in her tribe.
Average to good. I
mean, she's always on the dominant tribe. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, and then I mean, I guess you can point out one more thing. Francesca from this season. I mean, 2-time first boot. I mean, game changer, right?
There we go, game changer.
So that's crazy. It's at the time of filming. Russell Hantz is only 1 year older than Francesca, which is I don't know why that's weird to me, but it is. I mean.
Jeez.
Wouldn't it have been crazy if both tribes threw to get rid of both Russell and Rob and they're the first two at
what happens? Do you think the rock draw was rigged? Because what happens if Boston Rob's on Zapatera? Do you think they're just as? Do you think they're just as brainwashed by Boston Rob's greatness?
No, but I do think Rob does ingrain himself more with them.
I think
as much as Russell.
I think Rob can still get to the merge. I feel like Rob's going to have to do maybe a flip or two, but I think Rob can definitely still win the season and still has probably more than a 50% chance. He came in with Ometepe with a 90% chance of winning the season, but with Zapatera, I feel like it now drops to 40 or 30 for sure.
Yeah, I think Zapatera could have used Rob as a shield. I just think Russell is too he has to have his way that they wouldn't be able to use him. So I think that Rob would be fine, because I think if Russell can get to the merge with Ometepe, I think Rob would actually be fine flipping over with Russell, because I think Rob would be scared of his own tribe almost. Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Zapatero would be brainwashed, and if Rob like got the merge there, I feel like it's only as a shield. It's not as like Rob's our main ally. Rob, he controls us. So yeah.
Also, just one quick thing. If you want any more indication that this is just literally the Boss Rob show, the merge tribe Merliano, it says its namesake is one of Rob and Amber's stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Like,
remember that?
What?
That's good.
I mean, they were like totally okay with it. They're like, yeah, listen.
Like, get your stuffed animal, my guy.
I want to give a little credit to Zapatero for being like the only tribe to ever like actually turn on the returnee player. Like usually every time you're like, why don't they just vote out the guy who's played before? And like they're the only ones that ever like even in Big Brother, like they never get rid of the one returnee.
Though for like
the
seasons.
I know, but it's a smart thing to do as a player.
It's very
but it turns out not even working for them anyway. Like because
I would just wait.
The numbers. I mean,
well, I think they were scared of a swap. There's no way that they like thought, okay, no swap, but we're still gonna flip, or we're still gonna throw the third episode challenge because we're afraid that we're gonna win 4 challenges in a row. Like, no, I'm pretty sure that they were expecting a swap at 4, and so they want to throw 3 and throw 4 and hope that they succeeded in one of those. And it worked out for them, but in the end, it didn't because there wasn't a swap, and so then they just sat there losing challenges because they didn't have Russell, and they were pretty much screwed there.
Yeah. Also, I feel like you're these new players. You have to know that this season's going to be all about Boston, Rob, and Russell. So like, let's just get rid of them so we can have our own show. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, how meta would that be if they're the first 2 boots, Rob and Russell? I mean, like,
that'd be kind of interesting.
That would be so funny. And then
Philip ends up winning.
There's a Rob. Then there's a Rob and Russell Redemption Island battle.
Yeah.
It'd be the most hyped up episode ever, bro.
If one of them gets back at the merge, that'd have been interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Rob probably does. I mean, do you think Rob beats Matt?
I think Rob does it.
Like,
yeah.
Well, Matt probably doesn't get voted out.
I'm just saying, like, okay, in like terms of physical prowess, it's probably like what Matt Elrod's like 2nd place, and then it's like.
I think Matt still goes.
I forget the challenges because Rob's good at like puzzles.
Maybe Grant is pretty good, I guess. A challenge. He's a former NFL player, apparently.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he is.
He is.
Yeah, he is.
Like I heard that, I was like,
I liked Grant. That was like the only player I liked on that season. That was on.
Playing for the Broncos.
I found myself rooting for Philip because he was the most interesting person.
Yeah, Phillips. Yeah, that's true.
Philip and Rob really. It's just the 2 that I was rooting for, and really it was for both of them to get to the end, and then for Rob to whoop Phillips' ass, and both those happened. So that's it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, to be honest, I was super rooting for Rob at the time.
Yeah, definitely. Same.
I mean, I was rooting for him because like he's the only person to root for me. Like,
right, who deserved to win the season, but that's kind of the whole problem with the season is that he's the only person. All right.
Anyway,
South Pacific. I think South Pacific is definitely. I think it's top of C tier. You guys?
No, F tier.
F tier. Wow.
It's bottom C. Top F for me. I did not like the religious stuff with
I didn't like it either, but that was the point. Is I found it at least more compelling than watching Zapatero go back and forth and lose.
This is basically the anti Survivor 41.
Semhart, getting voted out. Like I feel like at least watching this type of vibe, and then like when it all encapsulates the climax of it is Brandon's vote out. Like I feel like that was more like the captivating as a viewer than watching Rob just like have a free win.
Oh,
I think it's better.
South Pacific?
Yeah, we're talking about South Pacific.
Yeah.
Oh no, I rate that higher than F.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I thought I'm looking back at it. It's probably like a low B, top C, because like I feel like South Pacific is probably one of the better like dark, what was it called, the Dark Age seasons. I mean,
yeah.
I
think it's the best out of 1 through 24.
Yeah,
you're right.
If you want the like. How do I say this? If you want the anti-Survivor 41 experience, basically Survivor South Pacific, is that right? Like the right-leaning version of Survivor 41. Boom, you have South Pacific.
Well, it isn't the right leaning. It's just the religious leaning.
Yeah,
it's the type of version. I mean,
it's just they're both bad. I mean, like I do think that there's some interest though here. I feel like the returnings are kind of like random. Like Coach and Ozzy just feels like pretty random, but it's pretty good.
Did you know that they wanted to get Philip and Coach and make it the season of Weirdos?
Yes, I know that.
But then
the season
Philip
of
said no. Philip said no because Philip wasn't ready to come back. and they didn't get Phillips, so they just got Ozzy because like
it's a weird matchup, but I think it ends up being better that it's them two.
Yeah, it probably is because I mean, in this season, really just becomes like a battle between the two tribes, and then one tribe just begons the other one once they.
It is super fun. Like it's a lot. It's I'll put it. Like, it's not necessarily a good season, but it is much more fun to watch than watching Redemption Now in every episode.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Like it isn't even.
I mean, character-wise,
yeah.
Character-wise, I mean, we actually have good characters here. I mean,
well, like okay, watch. You have Don Cochran. You have Jim Rice. You have Ozzy. Even like Whitney and Keith add something to the season.
Yeah, they're good villains.
Brandon Hantz is
and then on top of that, you have Brandon. You have Coach. You have Sophie. You have Albert. And then the only duds who get post merch are like Rick. Like to
Rick
me, like,
Nelson, the best.
That's a W. To me. Like, to me,
who remembers Rick?
You gotta remember that mustache.
Wait. Brandon Hantz was 19 when in the film of the season. Crazy. No way. Oh my god, he was 19, and that means Ozzy was 29. He's 10 years older than him.
That means he was only 22 when they filmed Caramoan. Not even. He was 21 years old when they filmed Caramoan. Oh my god.
There's also the challenge beast Christine, who actually probably makes it back into the game if it wasn't for Ozzy.
Yep.
I gotta say that is a crazy like that when Ozzy was like, "Yeah, vote me out."
Yep. So,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's like that it has moments, it has characters, it even has like a blind or two. Like that's like to me, this season at least has like some of the blueprints of an average season. Although it can't be like at 20. Like you know, what I mean, like this is like absolutely. A 30. To me, this is like a 30 or like a 32.
To be fair, though, right? Like, if the Ozzy move works, right, and Ozzy ends up winning the game, that's probably put as one of the best moves ever in Survivor history, right? I mean,
just like the out, JT move was in the Heroes vs. Villains, where if Russell really is on the bottom of an all, if that's Eric in that spot, and it's Eric from Micronesia in that spot, and they're able to flip Eric, vote out the women, and then vote out Eric, and then it's just them. JT's probably like with JT, who's there? Rupert, Colby. I think they sit together and vote out Amanda and Candace, and then in that final three, I think JT wins because he's able to beat the people on the jury. So I mean, it's one of those moves where it seems dumb, but like if it worked, it would.
Yeah.
Even though like it probably would have been better to vote out Cochran, and then because they didn't realize that Christine probably would have joined up with them.
Yeah.
So they would have had an alliance member either way.
I mean, and also a lot of looking at the job titles. Jim Rice is a medical marijuana dispenser. Then Keith is a water treatment technician. What the heck? Apparently, actually, scandal alert. So, Whitney, Duncan, and Keith or whatever, they're married, right? But apparently, they like hooked up on the show or whatever like that after the show. But Whitney was still married at that time. Yeah, apparently. So you know, scandal alert.
That disgusts me.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But like,
because Whitney.
Yeah.
I just got that.
You disgust me. Oh my god, how could you do that after we bullied you for days?
You disgust me.
There's some funny stuff like Ozzy has weird little showmans with Semhar, and then their stupid poetry.
Does he?
No, it's like that.
Well, like he likes her, like doesn't he? He's like he wants to keep her.
No, it's
like
no.
You sure? I thought he likes us. I thought he liked Semhar at the beginning.
Well, no, he wanted to keep her for like physical reasons, but he kind of had
that's
with the.
I don't remember anything from this pre-merge because I had just come off watching Redemption Now for my first season, and like, well, first of all, I didn't really know what a reunion show was, like, this is my first season, so I was like, okay, we're like Redemption Now's over. All right, great. Why is he talking about what's a reunion? What? Like, why is Jeff talking about, okay, whatever, let's go to the next season. And then the new episode comes on and it's the same season. I'm like, wait, what? Is there a glitch? And then they have a whole reunion. So I'm like, is there a second reunion after this? And then the first episode comes on. Yeah, this pre-merge is pretty, like, kind of a blur for me, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think the merge is, like, kind of worse. But, like, because, like, Brendan Hantz is, like, guys, let's get on Michaela because she's too hot or something like that. I forgot his whole reasoning behind it.
Yeah, actually, pre-merge is actually pretty fun. Like, after they merge, it's like the obvious, like,
Pagani. Yeah, it's obvious, like, Pagani. Right, we're just going to get rid of all the Savais.
But, like, they do it much better by doing double episodes back to back.
Yeah,
it just feels weird, though, when they do that.
Yeah, it's definitely weird, but they like did clutch up there by understanding the assignment and knowing that it was going to be 4 in a row, so they did doubles instead.
Yeah, I like that. I also like
skip towards
like
the
coaching the pre-merge isn't as bad as he gets eventually, so there's that. And
right,
also, like,
and it's kind of like in Tocantins, it's a build up to coach. By the end in Tocantins, coach is on the island going nuts on Exile Island, all that stuff. And in this season, by the end, he's talking about how he voted out Brandon Hantz because God told him to, or some bullshit like that. It's like it's fun to watch. It's definitely fun to watch.
The one thing I would say about like the religious stuff here is like compared to like the woke stuff in like 41.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think the religious stuff is shown in like a positive light by the show. It's just like this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, I think, oh my God, guys. Yay.
Yeah. Also like the Matt stuff in Redemption Island. I think that was shown in a positive way, which was annoying. And then this season, it's just like, this is their strategy they're doing.
Yeah. It really isn't shown in the bad or like good way. It's just shown like, hey, this is kind of like what they're doing. So like, yeah. I mean, but like, it's not like they're propping up on the show. Like, oh yeah, we're all the same. We got to, work together to make a movement.
Isn't it great? We're all religious. They never do stuff like that.
Isn't it great that we're all religious? Because like 60% of the people in the world are Christian or whatever. I forgot. It's like,
like if Coach stood up at tribal council and said, Christians are prosecuted, and
right,
then it'd be like, oh my gosh, what is this?
15 minutes of that, in one episode, and hold on, and then in the next episode, he goes up to everyone, and everyone's like, you were so articulate, just like Xander said did in the show, bro.
Or it's like, or it's like as a non-religious person, like it's like
Cochran's like, it's so eloquent.
And then like it's like Coach is like, everywhere I go, everyone sees me as a Christian man. Everywhere I go, that's just how it is, It's like, and then like it's like Cochran's like, oh yeah, I don't know how to relate to that. Obviously, I'm not religious. I can't imagine how that feels.
I love that Cochran impersonation. That's good.
I can't imagine how that feels to be religious because I'm just not religious. It's like it must be such a hard life for you guys. I feel so. I'm an ally.
I'm just reading this daily dose of Stan Twitter. Mm-hmm. They just commented on my channel that honestly we should cancel Survivor Spencer. I was just laughing at that. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna rank this season.
I'd be fine with somewhere in C.
I think it should be the top of C. I think below Cook Islands is where it belongs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think that makes sense. So yeah, cool. So right there.
Yeah, it's better than All Stars, but it's not as good as Cook Islands. Yeah.
Coach's game is better to watch than Rob's game from Redemption Island.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Totally. Yeah, I feel so. I feel like that probably is true. Yeah, I mean, because like Boston and Rob, there's like no interest really. With Coach, there's like some interest, obviously,
because Coach is flawed. Whereas in Boston, Rob is just so perfect in that season. It's like it's almost annoying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've seen Rob's game before. Coach completely changes his game.
Yeah.
Right. Coach, honestly, this is like you could argue the most annoying coach, and it's because he tries to actually play the game this time by using his nonsense.
Like, dude, what are you doing? You're playing the game. No, stop.
Yeah,
don't play the game.
Come on, Coach. Come on, like stop playing the game. What are you doing?
Yeah. So, but he also fumbles the bag, and where he tries to not own it up to his game and stuff like that. Honestly, people say like if Coach in the final 3 owned up his game, he would have won. I don't think so. I think he's still at that point. I think he still loses at that point. But
so he lost in a 6-3 vote, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I forget.
Meaning he needed to flip 2 votes.
Let me check.
I think if he's honest with Brandon, he gets Brandon's vote, and I think if
does he lose Ozzy's vote?
Rick, I think he's still. I think that if he owns up to his game, he gets Brandon and Ozzy's vote, and maybe even Rick's vote as well.
Rick voted for him. So Rick voted for him. Cochran and then Rick voted for him.
So then I would be inclined to believe that if he owned up to his game, he definitely gets Brandon's vote, and I think it's a matter of if he can swing Ozzy over. And I think Ozzy would see himself in Coach, a player who's played a bunch of times and lost yet again, and Ozzy would almost see like his loss in Cook Islands, and then see Coach and be like, I'm not going to do that to you. Here's the win. I feel like Coach could have, like, at least it was definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I think Ozzy was the most willing to switch. I think because he's like, we're both returnees. How hard it has to be to win. Yeah, so I think he could have got Ozzy if he tries a little harder with that.
Yeah, he needs to swing 2 votes to win, and Ozzy and Brandon are probably the most one because I mean, like Whitney, Don, Keith, Jim. I'm not voting for a coach. I don't feel like ever really. I don't know. I feel like they're probably not going to vote for him ever. So he needs to just be able to flip Brandon. But like after the point where he votes off Brandon, it's like I feel like he loses his vote there like indefinitely. I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever. Should we move on to
Yeah.
One World? What a great season One World is.
Oh my gosh. I think it's my least favorite season of all time.
I mean, I think it's an F tier for me.
This is the worst season of all time. Second worst season of all time.
No,
in my opinion,
it's the worst.
No,
Give me that. Come on.
No, it's not. It is.
Oh my gosh.
Watch Thailand and then watch One World.
But we can agree it's bottom F, right? Bottom F, right next to Thailand, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tell me why Thailand is. Tell me why Thailand is a better. First of all, hold on. First of all, do we think that it's better than Fiji, or do we not? I think Fiji's better just based off of the Edgardo boot and the idols finally coming to fruition and being good, and the car curse.
Yao Man's better than any character on One World.
Right. And Earl's also a fun character as well. So I would say overall that's the case. So okay, we're good with that. Now tell me why Thailand is a better season than One World.
Well, I think the biggest advantage Thailand has is that Brian did that strategy way before he was the first one to do it, you know?
Kim is just basically a nicer version of Brian, if you think about it. Like, I mean, she just runs the table the entire game.
More options.
Yeah, she runs the table the entire game. She
kind of makes a big mistake though when she gives away to Troy the idol, like that they're not with him anymore. But Jay screws it up. If Jay doesn't screw up that move, Kim could possibly not even win that game.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Troyzan was really the only person that actually I hated her, and she still wins. I mean, people wanted to bring her to the end, even though they knew that they could lose against her. I mean, Kim is an amazing player.
Troyzan sniffed out her lie though, so I can't see her as that impressive when Troyzan is sniffing out your gameplay.
I feel like that was more luck on Troyzan's part.
I don't think it was luck. He calls it out. He's like, she talked in a certain way that does not make sense. She wasn't a great
Are you talking
liar,
about did she talked on on their way to tribal council? Is that what you're talking about? It was
the episode where they're they're on the beach. It's where Troy tells Jay, "Yo, they're betraying us," and he's like, "No, they're not." And then they vote out Jay instead of Troy because Troy has the idol. But Troy was going to have them vote out. They were going to vote out Troyzan before that, and he was going to use his idol and take out Kim. But Jay tells Kim.
I mean, you have to give it to Kim that she made an alliance so good with that he thought that she trusted him and she was able to tell him that information.
Well, I just think because Jay's a moron, but
I mean, she was able to, what's the word? Capitalize on that and make him be her puppet. And she told him
I don't think there's
rid of a one competition.
Any point where someone catches on to Brian's bluff,
That's just more like.
And
but
also,
I feel like Kim did it in the more okay, Kim doesn't ever lose this season. Okay. Brian possibly can lose the season.
No.
That's not true. I just gave you a way.
It's not even that. Kim, literally every person wanted to go to the end with Kim. Maybe not every person, but literally 70% of the entire cast wanted to go to the end with Kim. That's crazy, considering that Kim is arguably a top 10 player of all time. The fact that someone would see a top 10 player of all time and then wants to go to end with him just shows how good good of a player she was at one, maintaining her threat level, and two, her social bonds as well. She also had a choice to flip the entire game at 7 and go with 3 other people who also wanted her in their group. Again,
I'm not saying Kim's a bad winner. I think she's really good. I'm just saying I think Brian's a little bit better.
Obviously. I disagree.
And you also got to take into account that your biggest character on the season quits in Colton.
Colton. What does that have to do with Brian Haddock?
I'm talking about the season as how you would rank it, right?
Oh yeah, no, I mean again.
I mean that sucks for the season. Yeah, but we should still be talking about the season.
But we're ranking them F tier. Who's better? And I was giving you examples of what.
Yeah, I know. Colton is probably the best character from this season.
Right.
And he quits. So that's bad. I mean, we have amazing
for 5 episodes.
Yeah, we have amazing characters like Courtney Moon, Nina Escoda, Matt Quinlan, Bill Posley, Jonas. I mean, Michael Jefferson. I mean,
Michael, he sucked.
Yeah, such a stacked cast. Cat Ederson.
Leaf had such a small presence on the show.
Oh my god.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Was that intentional?
I'm not going to answer either way.
Was that intentional?
But you know what?
You'll never know.
You know what? Name some Thailand. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Is like
I
say all this about One World and then not go to Thailand and say.
Does Thailand have a little person on the cast? I mean, like I don't know.
No, listen. Ableism.
You just never saw him. He was there the whole time.
Yeah.
I forgot. Like, what was Leaf actually able to reach the jury?
He got to the merge. Yeah.
No, I forgot. No, I'm freaking talking about the. It's what was the thing called? The auction. Was able to reach the auction table. It was like I forgot. It was like, did they have a step salon? But I mean, also, I guess it's a pretty fun part where like the men give up immunity. I guess that's pretty fun. But I mean,
no, that was completely like, what are you guys doing? You guys are
like,
idiots.
it's like you see Jeff Probst's face as they walk in. It's like, what?
Yeah, because Jeff purposely avoids like their like catch up meetings that they try and ask him to go to. He purposely avoids them to not be spoiled. So he didn't know. He literally walked in like thinking, and then they come up and he's like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, and that only works on this type of season. And I feel like the twist for the season is actually really cool.
It's
and
cool,
it's
but
it's unfortunate.
terribly.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, like, the cast is awful and they couldn't capitalize. I feel like they should try to do a One World season again. I mean, I feel like the twist is actually really cool. But because the season sucks so badly, they're probably not going to do it again, which is awful. Because, I mean, I think the twist is actually really cool that, like two tribes on the same beach. I mean, like, you get stuff like that where it's like, hey, let's give them immunity and let's go to tribal council. It's like, what?
I think it'd be interesting to have like a One World where you don't even have two tribes. There's all one big tribe at the beginning.
Or like Survivor No World where it's just a merge. And it's just
I think that could be cool for a season.
Where it's like just a merge and like it's the first member of the jury or what, like
it's like a everyone versus everyone. No one's like on a team.
I mean, yeah, that could be cool, but
free for all.
Unfortunately, the season sucks, so they're never gonna do that. I mean, like, should we just move on?
The best part of this season is when Leaf sleeps in the box.
Oh yeah, bro. That is legend. That is God tier Survivor right there. Where Leaf does sleep. I mean, that's God tier Survivor, but
it's got to.
Should we actually move to an actual good season though?
Right.
Yeah, sure. We'll forget how we're ranking Thailand in One World.
Just for the viewers, we're going to cut this one off at Cagayan. So Cagayan will be our last season we rank, and our third part of this gigantic podcast. It'll be total up, I think 6 or 7 hours in total. We'll go from San Juan del Sur to 41. So go ahead.
All right. So Philippines. Michael Scoopin, am I right? Like, I mean,
that's the first thing you say about Philippines.
That's the first word that comes out of your mouth.
That's not going to get it up high on the list.
Right? I was going to say, yeah.
I mean, Matt Scene, iconic. I don't know. Zane Knight is my favorite first boot ever. So I mean,
that's a good first boot.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have this S tier season.
I do too.
I think it's the top of A tier.
I think it's pretty close with how we rank it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only reason it's not next year is just because, like, to me, I don't know. It's just it doesn't have like that big of moments. Like, I mean, the biggest moment is like the Jeff Kent boot, maybe.
I think Michael Scoopin being on there in the first place is a pretty big moment for the TV show.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I think
I'm trying to think of a big moment now.
Yeah, for me, you know what I mean. Like,
it's like the whole season is good. Like,
the whole season's good, right? But there's nothing to me that's legendary about
it. Has the second best underdog story with Malcolm and Denise.
Sure.
I mean, Malcolm's pretty iconic. He's on it, and then now.
Right,
Denise came back for winners.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to come down the season. I'm just saying the reason why for me it can't match like China and Micronesia and Cagayans and Davis Goliath is the fact that it's just simply to me. I mean, not like it doesn't have that.
You're right, Spencer.
That legendary.
It cannot match Micronesia and China because it's better than Micronesia and China.
Oh, he said, "Oh my God!" So
I'd be willing to debate that. I'm not like that's like that isn't like because they're all.
No, I mean, it's an argument.
Yeah,
I mean, like literally. I mean, like Jonathan Pinner is on the scenes. That already gives it like top.
Jeff
10.
Kent's awesome. I love Jeff Kent.
I actually like Jeff Kent. He's an underrated character. Too bad that Obama stole all of his money.
I like the 6-finger handshake. That's a great moment.
Yeah,
I forget about that one. Wait,
you don't?
What?
He makes a deal, I think, with Penner. I forget. I think it's with Penner, but gives him like I guess he's having 6 fingers up, so that counts as not a real handshake.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
I like Carter being like his sidekick.
Yeah. Carter like it's so weird. Like he has no idea what's going on the entire. He's like, yeah, dude. It's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, bro, it's all chill with me. Like Carter, like remember when he's like, it isn't like Carter's like, all right, Penner, who do you want to vote out? And it's like, Katie or Penner. And it's like, I forgot who the other person was. It was in the merger during their last tribal council that tribe. I forgot, but it was like, who do you want to vote out, Katie or Penner? John Penner. And then like you see Jeff Kenny just like, oh my god, because like Jeff Kenny wanted to get Penner out so badly for like no reason. He just like hated Penner, just wanted to get him out so badly, and that was like his one chance right there. And then he absolutely blew it. And you just see Jeff Kenny like just die on the inside. It's so freaking funny.
Yeah, he's so mad in that trip.
Yeah, and then like the whole Maxine thing.
That was like the best tribal that they had in like five seasons. Like I remember like. In the next time on, they had like said, and we have the best tribal that we've ever had, because I feel like they were so excited to finally have a good season.
Yeah, dude, this is like such a breath of fresh air for people watching this live as like the seasons were going. It's like, finally a good Survivor season.
Right? Mm-hmm. How was that? Like, how did people react? How was it watching live? Like, how excited were people? Like, can you try and like put me in the mindset in the time space?
I think like everyone was, I think, kind of on the edge of like, I think Survivor's kind of run its course, and then this season came back. I think just breathed fresh air back into the show. Because like no one was like, everyone was not happy with Survivor at the time.
I mean, really? Obviously, I mean, I can't
like
blame
on the forums and all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Like on
I don't know about casual fans. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I can't blame them really. I mean, it was pretty.
I mean, they were correct.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, this is just such a breath of fresh air, especially if you're watching like all the seasons like in chronological order. It's like, oh yes, finally a good season. Sadly, we'll have one more season that's pretty bad. After this, but it just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it should be with this season. So I don't know.
I agree with that. Season. But you got Malcolm, who's an S tier player, right?
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
Abby's a great villain.
I dislike Abby a lot. I feel like she's just annoying to be annoying.
She's also a great villain. That's the thing.
I think she's
that's like for me, like, and again, all this, like, for me, the only reason why it's not S tier is just because it's missing a legendary moment for me. Like,
but the thing is, it's so good. Like overall, like it's so
good.
Just,
it's just consistently good. It's never bad. There's really no bad episodes, and the story is very digestible.
Which I think should give it S tier. Honestly,
I think that should give it top of A. I think it has to have something like wow.
Bitter, help me out here. Please tell me you think this is an S tier.
I do have it. I know I do have it in S tier, but I could be okay with top of A.
Okay. Top of it.
Oh, come on, guys. Let's be real. Like,
let's go.
Like Abby's just so great in how like she adds so much chaos to the season.
She is.
I dislike Abby a lot. Like I think she's just annoying. Like
she's very similar to Sugar.
Yeah,
as a player.
Yeah, but Sugar doesn't like.
She's like
annoy
more
you
sassy.
Much. You just want to like kill yourself.
Right, exactly, and that's why Abby's a more like a villain, while Sugar's
no. The difference between like I can like root for villain, right? Abby, in my opinion, is just annoying. Like I just don't like her like, as a person. Like I do not like her as a person.
Well,
like I mean,
for me, I'm always rooting for the villain, and there's very few villains that are edited as villains that are meant to be villains that are actually villains for me. Those people are I'm trying to think on the fly. Nyanka, Abby, I'm trying to think of people who were edited as a villain, like Angelina, like people who like were edited bad on the show, and I bought into the edit so hard. I was like, I really do not like this person.
Cass, maybe her first.
I actually like Cass as this thing is like for me. If the person is strategically there in the head, I can really respect their game.
Yeah, but Abby's not.
Right, and that's why like people like Nyanka and Abby, and even like again, this girl really wasn't a big person, but I don't know if you guys remember the black girl from Samoa in the pre-merge. She was Nyanka before Nyanka.
Yasmin.
Existed. She was the girl who like
Yasmin.
I barely remember.
Yasmin.
Yeah, so
she wore like high heels and tribal. Is funny.
Yeah, Ben Browning, like that's what Ben Browning is he's remembered for saying comments about her, like his racial comments were about her, and which were 100% true because he called her like annoying and uneducated and ghetto, and she was all three of those: ghetto, uneducated, and annoying. But they had said, "Wow, you said she's black and ghetto. Oh my God!" Like this and that, and Jason tried to get up there and preach on his soapbox. But yeah, like no, like to me, like those type of people to me, those are the actual people that I like actually don't like. Are the people who.
What about Baylor?
Baylor's I think in the same category is just annoying.
Yeah,
like,
I think she's annoying, but she
don't
adds
think
to the
she's in
show.
the same category at all.
I don't think she has this. I don't think Abby adds to the show. I think she's just an annoying person that I genuinely dislike as a person.
I don't think that Baylor even belongs close to Nyanka and Adam Maria as far as like villains. Like,
I kind of agree. I'm just talking about like annoying.
Yeah, no,
right.
No,
as far as annoying people, yeah, Baylor. I'm trying to think like Angelina, Abby, Nyanka, people who are annoying. I'm trying to think, like even kind of Eliza and Vanuatu, people who are just not like. If I was out there, I would start to like rip your neck off. Those are those people. And usually those people are considered to be not like not people that you root for because no one wants to be annoyed. No matter how much you like Eliza, you can definitely concede that being out there with her would get annoying after a few days.
Yeah, I think those players are better on like rewatches when they don't have a chance to win.
Right.
All right. So you want to go on to the down? Like I don't even know this season. I don't like this season at all. Caramelin.
I don't like it either. I hate it.
I don't like it either.
I think this has the worst pre-merge ever. Like
yeah.
Point blank. I think this is the worst pre-merge ever.
Top of F tier. Like or no. Like, I think it should be ahead of yeah. I feel like it's better than Redemption Island just based off the post merge being at like a top 20 maybe post merge.
I think there's like cooler. There's like the Malcolm stuff is way better than anything in Redemption Island.
Right, and like so above everything. Yeah.
I mean, but it's still F tier. So I mean. Just this, like I said, like this is like this is probably this is the worst pre-merge in my opinion ever. Like what happens this pre-merge? It's like actually
it's also the worst returning season as well. Yeah,
probably. Well, like
whatever. Like, these are not favorites at all.
Yeah, and these aren't fans either. And like
like,
I mean, let me list you off the favorites. Francesca Hoagie, the first boot.
No, I would disagree. I think they are fans. Like, in fact, I think in both seasons they had fans on the tribe. They're just scattered. One and two. It's not like for me in Micronesia, the fans tribe is just as well casted as this is, which is not so well. The difference is you have two standouts. There's no standouts from this fan tribe. Not one.
Yeah.
There's not one standout from this.
No, I would say Reynolds and Eddie later on when they joined Malcolm.
I don't think Eddie. I think Reynolds probably the best. I mean,
yeah,
but like let me list off these other people.
Right.
Eddie's like just like a character.
Allie,
Hope,
Laura,
Allie,
Julia. Michael Snow. I mean,
who are you?
And then like also
Shamar.
these favorites.
Like,
I mean, first of all, Andrea, I don't think should have came back. I think Eric Reichenbach's probably the best. Yeah, he's definitely the best.
He makes sense. That's everyone wanted like a fan.
Eric,
that makes sense.
Eric, Malcolm, Cochran, and Philip are
Philip? No.
He's a character. I don't know if he's a favorite.
It's that's like not casting Coach on here. So it's like you have.
Yeah, but Coach is a villain. The Philip isn't a favorite. No one liked him. He was a character.
Right.
I'm okay with him being on.
I'm talking about like people who I'm fine returning for the favorite tribe. Eric, Cochran, Coach.
Brenda at the time was like everyone was
Brenda,
like, that's a good pick.
Brenda's fine.
At the time,
but Dawn, Dawn.
I'd rather have had Holly.
Brandon Hantz. What?
I don't know. I think like for the time, maybe it might have made sense.
No. At the time, everyone hated the idea. Brandon Hantz was a favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Everyone hated this favorites tribe when it got cast because like no one. Everyone's like these guys are not. Yeah.
I mean, and also
look at the first favorites. Those guys were legends almost.
That's true.
You got like.
I mean, like how many of the favorites from Phantom Cities came back from versus Villain? Let me check. Survivor.
Parvati came back. James came back. Petter didn't come back. Well, okay, watch. People who came back from the
let me check.
That tribe overall.
Jonathan
Penner, Parvati, James, Suri,
Ozzy.
Ozzy. That's fine.
Amanda.
Amanda. That's 6.
Let me see. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 favorites.
Yeah, fair play, and then the 2 Vanuatu's. Everybody else comes back from that favorite.
Yeah,
tribe.
so 6 out of the 10 people came back. I mean, like,
and fair play deserved to come back. And I would say even Yao Man, but I guess he might just be too old.
Yeah. It's Yao Man, fair play, and the two Vanuatu's haven't come back.
I mean, everyone deserved to be on the favorites. I think in that one,
right?
Except for maybe Parvati. That was the only questionable one.
But she was a backup for someone else, though, so I'll let it slide.
She was also a good cast for they figured out that she was at a good time in her life where she was she was at an aggressive time in her life when she knew it that she was at a time where she had the mindset that worked for her game. I think it's similar to how with Sarah, they saw something in Sarah for Game Changers where they had seen that she was at the right time in her life. She had the right mindset about her last game. I think Parvati was also like that as well.
I'll kind of disagree about them thinking that her mind was the best part of why they brought her back.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it's also for
she was at the prime of her life and how hot she was.
Well, that too, but that's also her game.
I know. She turned out to be a great casting for that season.
Right.
At the time, people were like, "What?" Because she was nobody on Cook Islands.
Again, it's the same thing with Sarah. When you saw the Game Changers cast, nobody was like, "Oh my god, it's Sarah, my favorite." Nobody said that.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of
what do you mean, bro?
Casting had caught up with Parvati and said, "Wow, you are at the right time for this game right now for whatever reason."
If you know what we mean, if you know what we mean, you're the best time in your life for this casting.
And they were right to an extent, obviously.
Yeah,
she's probably one of the best characters coming out of the season. So,
that's always a hit and miss. You can either be the Parvati or the Candace of players who shouldn't have got brought back.
Parvati or the Sierra Dawn Thomas.
Yes,
or Haley from Game Changers.
But again, and why is Andrew here? I do not get this. Why do they keep bringing this girl back?
People love Andrea for some reason. I do not.
I don't know why.
I don't.
Well, I mean, she's pretty. She's decent at the game, and she always gets the merge. So I guess that's kind of your reasons.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know. But you also have Francesca, the best character ever.
Who are you?
Why are you here? Is it just because Philip is here?
Why are you running?
That's the only reason we're here is because Philip is here, and they'd be like, cool dynamic.
Why are you running? This.
I just feel so bad for her.
Well, I actually like the Francesca cast as a cast member because she's a really good strategist. If you look at this first episode,
good strategist.
Yes, the first bit of the season, a great strategist. Twice.
I know.
Best strategist ever.
Well, again, first time was because she opposed Boston Rob, and it was her and Christina were the only two people that weren't in a complete trance of Boston Rob.
I'll give you that.
Second time was because she was the biggest target and she was the best strategical player. People said it out loud and said she is so good at the game. We have to get her out.
She's so good at the game that she got voted out first.
I think she's okay. I don't think she's
right.
But and also with her being her first boot, it was so much easier to boot her off first again.
Right.
Everyone on that tribe was like, let's just vote out the person who was voted out first before. Right. It should be funny. Right. And they were right. It is funny.
Who didn't play the game, because we're basically just voting out someone who didn't play the game twice.
Mm-hmm. I think Cochran was legitimately it'd be hilarious to vote someone out twice first.
Right. Because he's the big super fan. He's like, oh my god, it'd be hilarious. The Survivor Reddit would be dying.
Then basically after that, OnlyFans went out in the pre-merge, and the only reason why another favorite went out is because OnlyFans.
This episode's brought to you by OnlyFans.
This episode's brought to you by
okay, the only people that got voted out or left the game were fans besides Brandon Hantz, who was the weird vote out or whatever. You don't count that. It was I'm gonna say it again. It was only fans that were or if you want to say it was Goda. It was Goda. You want me to say that? It was the Goda tribe. No, that was a tribe.
In this episode, this episode was brought to you by OnlyFans and Blue Chew.
Bro,
Why
you're making something out of nothing, I swear. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. Only the Goda people were voted out.
Why not have both?
After Francesca. So let me count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Goda members were voted out. It's only 4 made the merge. I mean,
wow.
It's just you want to have more fluid gameplay, and then And I guess the high point of this is the Three Amigos Tribal Council, where if you actually look at it, they kind of botched it in telling everyone they're going to do it. I mean, that was a perfect opportunity to get rid of Cochran right there, and they got rid of Philip, who probably is the first person voted out of it.
What's the thing is like they were gonna flip on Philip anyway. You should have gotten rid of a Cochran or like even like if you had gotten rid of like an Andrea or a Brenda, that's better than getting rid of a Philip.
Yeah,
he was the first person they were gonna vote out after once everyone else was gone.
Right. I feel like your best bet there is to vote out a Cochran, and if you can't get Cochran because I don't know, maybe he has like protection or I don't know, whatever. Then you just go for like Brenda or Andrea or Dawn, but not Philip. Like Philip's the worst person to go after.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Cochran didn't have immunity there either. So I mean,
well, there you go then. Just get out Cochran.
Yeah, their biggest problem was saying we're voting Philip. Because like it would have been so interesting to see who everyone votes for if they didn't realize. Because like telling them that we're voting for Philip made them not scared anymore because they knew they were safe.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't make Philip feel good.
I still think it's nuts.
And Philip was the only one that's like, let's vote the same.
I think it's nuts that they told them and they all still voted for Eddie and Malcolm and let them decide who went home. Like, imagine if you're Cochran and you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to still vote for them because I'm not flipping. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Because then like they could vote anybody. Like
yeah, they just told everyone and just controlled the vote. I mean,
right?
So easy, just 3 votes.
Well, they controlled the vote anyway, but yeah, it was definitely crazy.
Yeah, because like if they didn't tell me it was Philip, they all would have been like, okay, it could be me. I'm not going to vote them out. I'm going to put my vote on someone else.
Or what they could do, and maybe this sounds mad scientist-y, but just hear me out. What if they all voted for one? Like a different person. So one voted for Cochran, one voted for Dawn, and one voted for Brenda. And then it's a tiebreaker. Everybody votes, and now you're creating like 18 cracks in their alliance.
That
would be so evil.
To be fair,
I really broke up that alliance by doing that.
Right.
But what do you think is better, just voting out Cochran and get rid of like the head of the snake, and like do you think everyone just dissolves after that?
But then they just flip on them anyway. Like they're not going to get to the end. Just voting out.
I mean, to be fair though, I don't think Reynolds and Malcolm, Eddie, like really ever get to the end once they're in that bad.
Right.
The final
but I feel like
Corinne's fault.
Their best bet is to. I feel like their best bet is to just completely roll the dice and flow out the whole game and hope that when all the pieces come back down to the ground, that they have a perfect game set up for them. Because voting out one person here is not going to do anything. No matter, even if it's Cochran, even if it's Russell Hantz, it doesn't matter who it is because
it's Boston Rob. Oh my god,
what would have been awesome is not telling them they're voting Philip and then Malcolm still not playing both idols.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is it still wouldn't work because they all stayed loyal to Philip because they were scared to flip on anyone because they didn't want to crack their alliances.
No, they stayed loyal to Philip because they know that the three amigos were voting for Philip. So if they think the three amigos might vote for them, like one of them, they're not going to just follow the plan.
I guess so.
Yeah,
at least there's a good chance they're not.
Because then they would cause those same cracks in my like the same cracks as my diabolical plan is, and they would keep their idols. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Because Malcolm would have had like 2 idols still, and like he would have just at worst he would have lost one of his duo.
Yeah, I guess.
But I feel like they still would have just voted for Malcolm, and because if you just start throwing straight,
well, Malcolm had the immunity.
Right, well, and just I feel like they still would have voted for the three amigos just because if you start throwing stray votes and everybody does, then it's just as random as Malcolm and Eddie choosing. So it's like, why don't you just let them choose and keep your alliance?
This was before everyone could stand up and like talk about changing the plan.
The approach is like one day decide like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna let them do it now. If they you just like one team. Well, like, yeah, I'm just gonna let them do it now.
Wasn't it? Wait, did Caleb do it live at Tribal? I think that was the first time in Blubber.
Game Changers was the first time it was. I'm pretty sure.
Well, the first time it was big, but I can remember it happening in Cambodia, just in a very small sense. Like there was whispers.
There's like some whispers. There was no like actual like people getting up and
right.
Like that.
Didn't like Caleb whisper in Blood vs. Water? I feel like that's the first time that
No, Caleb was like saying he just said out loud, I'm gonna vote for Brad Culpepper.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. That.
Which speaking of which, should we just transition over to Blood vs. Water now? All right.
Yep.
Sure.
I think it's a B tier season. I don't know. Everyone really likes this season, and
I don't like it that much. I think it's like a C.
I think it's okay. I would actually tend to agree.
I think it's like mid B. I think it's about
I think it's around Borneo. Whether you around, I think it's between Borneo and Africa. That's my personal take.
I think it's between Gabon and the Amazon.
Wow.
Actually, no. I think it's between Guatemala and Gabon.
Wow. I would
actually
be able to compromise.
I think it's between. No, hold on. Actually, no, I think it's between. Well, I think that Blood versus Water is better than Pearl Islands, but the only reason why Pearl Islands is an A is because it's
if you're talking about like where the tier is, like you think Blood versus Water is at the top of the A tier.
No, the only reason why Pearl Islands is up there is because of you guys.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
no, I'm
based
trying to
on
think.
the letter,
I think personally, I feel like Blood versus Water should be top of B. I like Blood versus Water.
Okay, and
I would have it at like top of C or bottom of B.
Okay, and I think that it should be bottom of B. So
that like rounds out to like
above
mid B.
Like, yes, right? Like above Palau. I feel like is where it comes out to.
That's fine. Cool. Yeah, I just think this season's really overrated.
You guys know. Come on, you guys know this is better than Marquesas. Come on, like I mean,
like, I'd rather watch Marquesas any day than watch.
Well, your opinion is simply wrong.
I mean,
okay.
I'm used to you guys telling me that. But
last season, Cagayan. If there's any other
no. We gotta talk about this season.
I forget. Yeah, sorry. It's just
so forgettable.
I feel like we should go to Worlds Apart at least if we're gonna like do this. Have it.
Okay, sure.
I like Worlds. I like Worlds Apart.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about this season. I mean, like. I don't like the whole twist in the very beginning where it's like, hey, you vote off one person. You never talked to them before. And like, obviously, Candace or whatever is going to be voted off right here because apparently she was like casted like very last minute. So she didn't get time to talk to anyone or whatever. So it wasn't really that fair.
Yep.
So I don't like that, obviously. And then Rupert, I mean, I actually like Rupert going home early because I never really liked Rupert that much. So
yeah, that was fine.
That was fine. I mean, Colton quitting, that obviously horrible.
It's stupid. Like you brought back a quitter and he quits again.
Yeah, it's like. But besides that, I feel like that original is it Tadhana? I don't know how you say it. Is like really fun to watch. Where it's like Tadhana, where Brad Culpepper and stuff like that. Fun. I think that the whole the Culpepper kind of part of the season, I think is like very entertaining. I think it's very entertaining where you watch and then you watch the downfall of Brad Culpepper's as where it's like, hey, he just voted out John Cody like last time. Maybe we can't trust him that much. Let's vote him out. And then Caleb's all like, yeah, let's do that. I'm trying to get this together. And then he's able to flip. I think he's able to flip Vetus over to his side, and then eventually Hayden over to his side. I think that is very entertaining. I feel like it also the two Galang tribal councils where they vote off Cat after Cat's, and then Cat's like, who wants to date someone who gets voted off before the merge or whatever. I think that's pretty funny.
And then Hayden dumped her. So
no, apparently she abused him or something. I don't know.
Wow.
I heard that she went to prison or something like that for a day or two.
She
for a day or two. I don't know.
She did go to prison. Yeah. She went to prison. Jenna Marasco went to prison. Mike Holloway has gone to prison. Yeah, they've all gone
but they're like petty crimes. It wasn't like something.
Right.
Cat should have dated Vetus then if it's about going to prison.
Yeah.
Well, Fabio went to prison for riding a bicycle drunk, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it was like riding a bicycle while
such a Fabio thing to do.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And then but then it's different because Jenna Marasco, I think she went to jail for drugs and stuff. So it's definitely
she tried to fight a police officer on her way to the car.
Right.
And Richard Hatch with his taxes. Everyone knows.
And so it's like we've had a lot of winners go to jail, which is really weird.
It's like,
right? The money, bro, it gets to your head.
Also, Laura Moret, I just think it's I don't know, this is weird to you guys, but Laura Moret has 19 votes against him this season. I feel like I don't know why that's weird to me. It's just weird.
It's because Sierra voted against her mom.
Oh my god,
yep, that's what it is.
That moment, even
all the
though
votes count
for
3 each. Yep.
It's like I just always thought the moment's overrated because her mom still goes home if she
it's the most overrated thing in history of Survivor.
Oh my god, guys, she voted out her mom. What? No way! It's crazy. I feel like Sierra did that just because she knew it'd be a good TV moment.
Probably,
but
I mean, also it was a good move too. I mean, it's just an obvious move to make.
Yeah, it's like, look, I'm not going to vote against my alliance because then they're gonna be like, hey, what the heck, why'd you do that? It's like,
right.
I think the pre-merge is really, really good. I do think it kind of slows down the merge. I think Hayden kind of saves the merge, especially when he's able to do that really underrated move for some reason. It's underrated, where he's able to flip Sierra and stuff like that and then make them draw rocks, which almost worked out. Sadly, it didn't in Katie. So I mean, Hayden or Sierra wins the game if that works. I think it's super underrated.
If Hayden wins this, I rate this a lot higher.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, that was a really great move by Hayden. He's able to flip her into doing rocks where she herself, right? Doesn't she herself have to draw rocks too, Sierra? and he's able to convince her to do it. It's like that's insane, right? And unfortunately it didn't work for him and stuff like that. And I feel like you kind of get some interest in the final episode where it's like Tina versus Laura, and then Tina actually wins. And also Jervis is just an icon. I mean, I love Jervis. He's just great. I feel like
I love how he's like super. He's a poor loser, like winner every time. Like he screams at the other team.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Do you think that we get a 2-1-1 vote if Tina wins immunity? Because I think that Tina, I think that Monica would vote with Tyson. I think that Jervis would vote with Tyson. They would vote for each other, and I think Tyson and I think Tina would vote for Tyson. And
wait, what's the final three then you're talking about if we do this?
So okay, hold on. So if Tina wins final immunity, I feel like we would get Tina vote for Tyson because she knows that Tyson's a big threat. Mm-hmm. I think Tyson would convince Monica and Jervis to vote for each other. So now it's a 1-1-1 vote, and then Tyson has the deciding vote, even though he lost immunity, which is hilarious.
He votes for Monica over Jervis.
He has his idol though there, right?
No, it's kind of
he played that. I think the round before
idols don't
wasted
use
it.
Yeah, idols don't RB. No. So Tyson doesn't use it at 6 like an idiot. Which is, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
He wasted the round before, something like that.
And then he uses it at 5, I think, and then he wins at 4. But I feel like even if he doesn't, I feel like he has the social capital and that like trio lockdown that he could convince Monica and Jervis to vote for each other, and then he gets to decide who goes
then
home.
He votes for Monica. I feel like in that situation.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and so even if Tina votes for Tyson there and wins immunity, she still can't vote Tyson out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and do you think Tyson beats Tina in a final?
I think
it's close, but I think he wins.
Well, I think not
Tyson.
Tina gets obviously her daughter's vote. She gets Vetus and Aris's vote because they were on. I feel like that's like a very close contingency. So that's 3 votes already. I'm gonna assume the jury was like 9 or 10. So
so I think Sierra votes for Tyson. I think Hayden. Votes. I feel like Laura Moret's a bit more there, but I think she probably votes for her daughter votes. Her vote goes to Tyson. Caleb is a bit of a wild card here.
I don't know.
Caleb votes for Tyson.
I think he votes for Tyson. He voted for Tyson the first time. I think he does it again. So I think Tyson wins in a 4-3 vote right there.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys pick who Aris votes for? I think he votes Tina.
Yeah.
Well, I had said that Aris, Vita, and Katie all vote Tina.
Yeah.
So
okay.
That's already 3. And then if Laura Moret votes for Tina, that's 4. If it's a jury of 8, which I think it is,
it's a jury of 7, I think.
9. It's a jury of 9. It's a jury of 9.
No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's a jury of 7. It's a jury of 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a jury. It's Sierra, Laura, Hayden, Katie, Caleb, Vetus, Aris.
Wow. Then Tina wins because.
No, I think it's 8, isn't it?
No, I'm on the wiki. I'm looking at the cast like right now.
So am I. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
8.
I counted 7. Oh wait.
Are you not counting Tina?
No, I'm not counting Tina. My bad. It's 8.
There you go. So 8 people. I think that Tina gets.
Well, who's on the jury in this situation? It's Monica, right? So
right, and
Monica
I feel like right. So now it's a 4-4 vote. Who does? And then Jervis
versus Tyson.
So Tyson wins the season either way, but that's a lot more fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, but either way, I still think the season's pretty good. I think it does slow down.
It's not terrible. It's just like
you're terrible.
It's better than Caramone. Like this is a better fans versus favorites because like the fans who are like their family members know Survivor better than the fans.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Marissa, who's the first boot of this season, is eliminated on day 9. So it's weird. I don't know.
Really?
Of Redemption Island. Yeah, because the Redemption Island.
Crazy.
And Candace stays till like day 11. He shows he's better than on day 1. And then Rupert, even though he wasn't even voted out because he switched, is eliminated on day 4 as the first person voted out. Never went to tribal. Never got a vote.
Wow. So, nuts.
I also gotta admit, like every time I hate like Redemption Island, Edge of Extinction type thing, so it always ranks down lower for me. I think this it's even better if they stop it at the merge, though.
Yeah,
I actually wouldn't mind Edge of Extinction Redemption Island if they stopped it at the merge. Right?
Yeah, so that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So that one per like what Rick Evans did is much more impressive than what Chris.
Yeah, because he only missed like what 2 or 1 rounds, right? He only missed like one round, I think, or 2 rounds.
He missed. Obviously, he gets voted out. That's obviously the biggest knock on him. Yeah. But the fact that he only misses 2 rounds, Chris misses 10 rounds, something crazy like that, and like that's insane.
And the thing with Rick is, if you look, he actually got extremely unlucky because the reason why they even voted out Chris is because they were planning for a swap. And they swapped with the same exact people on their tribe.
Exact tribe, right?
It's like if that doesn't happen, he probably doesn't get voted out there. He probably
gets merged. But if he gets swapped onto the Kama tribe, I think the Kama tribe flips on itself.
Yeah, I mean, because Kama just was
waiting to
strategize. But they couldn't.
Right.
And then Joe makes it to the merge without going to tribal council once, and then just gets voted out. So yeah. Anyway,
I just don't know why they never tried that. Just have it halfway through.
Just have it halfway. It's like, and I wouldn't really be bothered by all that much because like
because you could forget about it. At some
one person from the pre-merge, it's like really not that bad. I think there's a lot of pre-merge players that are actually like good players we still don't get to know. So it's like
that's why I think the Outcast twist isn't that bad because it's halfway.
Yeah. Is that the only time it's ever done it? Yeah. Anyway, but let's get to a season I think we can all agree is
it's the best season so far.
F2
so far.
No. Yeah, we all agree this is the best season so far, right?
Yep.
Except for Bitter because he thinks Vanawatch is the best season.
Oh, he thinks Vanawatch.
It's definitely in my. I would have to like really think about it, but it's definitely in my top 3.
All right, so Cagayan.
What other season do you think is above it, other than Vanawatch?
So do you think Cagayan's an S2 season though? I just wanted to get that out of the way. Yeah.
China. I think
China. I mean, I would give Kai. I really hate the Tyler Perry.
But like it never actually comes into play.
I know. I just hate the concept of it.
Right, but it's leveraged to be, it's leveraged in a way
it's never used though. Tony literally just uses it to be like, hey, he could have done it with a rock and been like, hey, this is actually an idol that can be used to the Final Four.
It's very similar to like China's like weird like 2 people going to each other's tribes. Like it's a bad twist, but like it doesn't.
It never amounts to anything.
I wanted to get some. Remember, can I put this at top of S tier? Like
yes,
that's I can accept that. Yeah.
Good. I mean, this season is just like even the duds of the season aren't that bad. Like I don't think Jeffrey
Lindsay is your worst cat. The worst 3 cast members are like Lindsay, Bryce, and like Garrett. Like those are great people. And
Garrett's they're even kind of like have their own kind of goofy moments.
And Garrett is like an amazing pre-merge character. I mean, like dude finds idol on like day 1, then gets voted out on the second vote out. He gets voted out.
Best episode arcs of all time.
Yeah. I mean, like look at this dude. He's like definitely the most physical person on the Brain Tribe. The people who desperately needed a person that's physical, and then he gets voted out over the person that just dumped all the rice into the fire. I mean, like it's amazing. Like that's crazy.
Put me in like the time period. So first of all, like just talk about like how it was before Cagayan and like the lead up, what people thought about the cast, and then like tell me how it is airing and how people were reacting. I want to feel like I'm in 2014.
All right, so a lot of people at the time thought we're actually on a good roll with Survivor. People actually liked Caramoan. I didn't. Blood vs. Water was a little overrated, but it was good. But this season, as soon as it ended, everyone was like rating it best season of all time. And I'm always the guy. It's like I gotta sit back. I don't want to rate something I just watched best of all time. But over the years, it's definitely one of the best of all time. But yeah, everyone loved this season. I mean, everyone thought Tony had no chance of winning, and they thought he was a terrible player for at least half the season. And then at the end, you're like, oh, I guess he was amazing.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because I remember like watching like some not specials, some RHAP stuff like from around there, and they're all like making fun of Tony, like because they like think Tony is like the Scott of this season from Koron. Like they think Tony is like the bad guy of this season, but he's actually like the guy who you're supposed to be rooting for. But production did it on purpose. Because like the guy who's like Tony never actually wins, like the Joe Mena never wins, right? Like so I think it was a nice change of pace, and it was definitely a trick that was kind of well set up for the time period because his archetype had been shown before and lost a lot before. So yeah,
well, everyone just like constantly thought he was overplaying because like it does seem like that. Like the LJ stuff's like you don't have to do that now, but then
like
it's like oh yeah, that made complete sense to do it then.
Right?
Yeah,
Because I
definitely,
mean, because in the end it works out. Although if the right thing happens, which is Wu in the end taking like not taking Tony, I feel like people now look at his game differently, and it's like, well, he put himself in a spot with two people who are better at challenges, and when one of them won, they voted him out. Like, how stupid! Like, but
I mean,
because
then it's kind of like a Suri game from.
I mean, to be fair though,
right.
You're not playing for a final 2 since the first time.
True, and then
So that's why it's very similar to Suri in Micronesia.
Yeah. So
except it works out. We get the good ending this time,
Right. Where like if Suri had convinced Amanda to bring her to the end, then that's this is like that version. And I'll say it. I think it's the best move of all time in Survivor history. It's one of the most simple moves. I think, like for me, like Richard's move in season 1 at the end. I think this move and the Kelly Charbal idol play are from me the 3 most impressive moves to me of all time. Because I think like they're all old. No, Richard and this one, they're so simple yet so complicated.
Yeah.
And then with the Kelly one, it's just like the use of the biggest thing in Survivor, which is the idol. It's the best use of that of all time. So I feel like those 3 are great representatives for the best moves of all time. That's my personal opinion.
It's such a simple move being able to convince him. It works out, and I don't know why. Who didn't vote for Tony in the final 3?
Tasha, because he says something about women apparently in the final trial that didn't air, and she didn't like it. So she didn't like it, so she didn't vote for it.
Makes sense. Yeah. Which I mean probably doesn't make sense because I feel like other women probably wouldn't have voted for him if that's true. But
well, Tony had said in the live because one thing that I do know about the season while I was airing is apparently like the Survivor after show like thing that it was big. Like people like the Parvati's show like that she had was like a big thing at this time.
Oh, I never watched it though.
There's like so many clips on YouTube of like apparently this was like a big thing that like got millions of viewers like I don't know whatever. But like she they like gave Parvati like a live show that she could talk.
Yeah,
it was basically ESPN, but for
I know the show is. I know this.
Right. And so she did an interview with Tony, and she asked why Tony didn't get unanimous, and he said, "Yeah, like that's like my fault. At the time, I kind of belittled her game, or whatever, and she thought I said something about women or with it. So yeah, apparently, I guess Tony was a little bit aggressive or with some sort of thing about women, but I don't know, whatever."
So,
it's just amazing that you can like how he like cut Trish and she still votes for him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
she has I think she has one of the best jury speeches ever. Actually.
Right. It's like this season has everything, and it has good. It has good. It is probably the best premiere of all time. Honestly, I think it's really good.
It's pretty good.
It has the arguably best pre-merge, if not behind Heroes or Villains.
Better than Heroes and Villains. Heroes and Villains.
I would agree. I would agree. And then it has arguably the best post-merge vault. It's like every part of it, and then it has arguably the best final. Like, it literally has everything good. Like
and it has a final 2.
Right, and it is arguably the best final. Like it has literally, and it has arguably the best finale, and it has arguably the best final 3 situation. Like it has you could argue the season has the best individual everything, but it's definitely the best collective for me. Everything.
Well, outside of the Tyler Perry idol, this is very back to basic type season.
You guys are getting one thing. Right. You guys are getting one thing. Ready? Look up. Ready? Wow. Hottest cast ever. We have Garrett, Bryce, LJ, Jeremiah.
That's out of pocket, bro. You said Bryce
Spencer,
second, bro. What's wrong
Woo.
with you, bro?
I thought you were gonna say Morgan first, and you just didn't.
He said Bryce.
No, I said Garrett first.
You would think the season with a beauty tribe would have the most good-looking people on the season.
Right.
No, Garrett, Bryce. That was pretty out of pocket.
Morgan's like
Did you guys know that Jeremiah is actually secretly a model?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh my!
I used him as in my video when I talked about models.
Yeah.
Really?
His face, yeah.
I'm actually secretly guys. I like how it's like he's like, guys, I'm secretly a model. Then like Spencer's like, hey guys, I actually have an idol.
Secretly have an idol.
Yeah. And then,
what if like Spencer was like, yeah, I'm actually secretly a model too, just a troll. That'd have been awesome.
Guys, I gotta tell you something. I'm also a model. That'd be hilarious. It's like a whole season of like
Jeremiah,
all
everyone's actually a model. Everyone like just like and like I don't know, freaking Tony comes, guys. I'm actually a model. It's like the rest of the cast just comes over. No, I'm actually a model too.
That's actually so funny, bro. That's actually so funny.
Just goes off like an hour.
Yeah, them like, no, I'm a model. No, I'm a model. Okay, well, who you model for?
I'm a model.
I also like underrated thing, but you know. Jeffra's like probably the most like bland person from the season, right? Like I mean, and her name is Jeffra Bland. I don't know why I think that's weird,
my gosh, that's hilarious.
Her name is Jeffra Bland, awesome. And I mean, something I think people forget is like, I mean,
I barely remember Lindsay. Is Lindsay interesting? I forget.
Lindsay,
she looks like Flicka from isn't it Flick or whatever? From
yeah, which not as good as
Flicka from Cookhounds.
Right. Yep. I mean, if you think about it though, like, I mean, Tony's one trip away from Wu from losing the season. Like if Wu trips one time during that challenge, Cass wins.
Yep.
Because like it was like a half second behind.
Yeah. And I don't even want to think about this season if Cass wins.
I know, right? No, if Wu wins. I mean,
I think if Cass wins, you're fine. It's if Wu wins, you're.
No, I think if Wu wins, I like it better. If Cass
it was already stated. It was a unanimous vote. They said like. If Wu went to the final two with Cass, Wu wins. I mean,
I've heard things after that, like Cass wins.
I think you could edit Cass to be like a fun, multi-leveled character, like anti-hero. Wu to me is just like I'll take that like the bitch over just the dude who has no idea where
Cass
like, up and down is.
I think Wu knows the game. I don't think he's like completely oblivious. I just think he's like
he's not completely oblivious, but he's goddamn near it. Like he's not all there.
I mean,
I don't think he's a good social player, but I think he's
I think he's a bottom 5 player on this entire season. Put it that way.
No, so look, Cass can say like it's because she's a woman that people think she's mad, but like she literally gave the bird to freaking Trish. Like you just had a bad, social game. You just had a bad social game.
She just had a bad. Yeah, she played a Russell Hantz game.
Like don't expect to get Trish's vote after Trish had a good game, then you proceed to flip her off after that. It's
she played emotional. Like she played an emotional Russell Hantz game.
Yeah, right?
I mean, she does it worse, and she plays worse than Russell.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, that flip at the final 13 it was completely asinine for a game. Like it was not a good move, but I mean, it was. I'm glad it happened, but it was completely asinine.
Cass seems to know the strategy, but like her emotions overtake her strategy.
I think it's better for her because like one, she should have been at the final with Wu, and she at least has a shot to flip some jury votes there. Whereas if she goes with Spencer and Tasha, they're gonna whoop her ass at the end. Yeah, at least she had a shot against like Tony and Wu. If Tony wins and then takes Cass, maybe Cass can beat him.
I mean, Spencer, Cass, Wu, Tony. I think Cass loses against every single one of those people.
Cass has a better shot going with Tony and Wu versus going with Spencer and Tasha.
Yeah,
I think they're both equally pretty bad for her. I mean,
she's in a bad spot. Yeah, no matter what.
Right.
I feel like at that point, like she only really beats maybe Jeffra and Morgan. I guess.
Yeah.
She might be Trish. I don't know. Somehow she gets
I feel like Tony would probably advocate for Trish if he was on the jury.
Yeah, I think Trish beats.
It'd be interesting to see what he says about it.
Yeah, I feel like Tony. I'm pretty sure they're still friends, Trish and Tony. So he'd probably advocate for in the jury.
Apparently, like Trish didn't even give a shit like about her speech. Like apparently, like after the finale was on airing, like and
they were just like buddy after that.
Trish was like, oh yeah, it was like a thing. Like that's it. Like she just talked about like, do you swear on your dad's dead? And like afterwards, like apparently it was just like all for show. Like,
she seems like a fun person. She's a fun person.
Yeah. Like how could you if you had a chance to be Tony's like a good friend, would you not want to be Tony's good friend?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like even looking like him and like he like betrayed Sarah and then they're still great friends.
You had a chance to be Tony's wife. Okay, no.
That's where I draw the line. I think.
No. I don't draw the line.
That was a bit out of pocket.
He is rich though. I would marry him to get half.
I mean,
money.
he has been making moves besides Survivor. Like he's done like some stuff. Bro probably invested.
No prenup type B. No prenup type B.
No, he probably does cryptocurrency like Chris Lance. I don't know. Probably has like Dogecoin. I don't know.
What?
I would have Cass be my lawyer too to get most of my money from Tony.
Yeah. And Cass, have you seen Russell's Twitter? He's like, it's all about Bitcoin.
Cass would
what?
Cass would go extra aggressive too in that case against Tony too. Like when he tried to go to get divorced.
Yeah, because
like
she was trying to point out
it.
on freaking Winners at War how Tony was actually his pedestal,
Cheating,
whatever, was
elbow.
like 1 centimeter taller or whatever than like everyone else.
It is weird to think that Cass like watches Winners at War from like a barn or whatever. Like
what does she actually like?
She's like a farmer. She's like a farmer. Yeah.
She's an attorney, bro. She's not a farmer.
Yeah, but
where do you watch the show? From a farm?
No, but she like
in the barn
with
the cows watching Tony on Winners at War.
She like lives out in the Midwest and she lives on a ranch. Yeah. She lives
like a ranch or something like what?
I have no idea, but she lives in the middle of nowhere, and she does not have like she goes to like the grocery store. Like she's a normal person. What are you trying to say? She does not live in the grocery store. She doesn't live in New York or California or the East Coast or West.
They go to the grocery store in California, dude.
No, they don't. They hover to the grocery store.
Yeah, Amazon drops off all their food.
Right. What do you mean? You get it, Bitter. You get it. Okay, let's move on. In her casting,
it says she lives in Copy, California.
I thought you were trying to say Texas. I'm like, come on.
No,
Takashi?
No,
Takashi,
California.
Yo, Takashi, bro.
The guy, no, she's an old person. Like goes to the grocery store.
What's more normal than that?
Right, exactly.
But the way you said it, she was like, guys, she goes to the grocery store. I know you're not gonna believe this.
Dude, she buys food. She brings it home. Puts it in the fridge like any other American.
I know, I don't know.
I would have thought that she just inhaled the food and didn't chew it. I mean, I'm surprised.
She would do.
You sound like some crazy conspiracist, like some kind goes to the grocery store. Anyway,
okay, so
San Juan del
Sur. This season always confuses me, but I always like to just have like a rule of thumb where I just put it wherever Blood versus Water is because I
S tier.
What?
You have an S tier?
I think it's top 10.
Is this your Thailand?
No, this is
what in the world?
I think this is a top.
You got a season at S tier? Wait. Say it out loud. Say it in a full sentence.
I said San Juan del Sur is an S tier season.
Okay, we're gonna clip that and put that for the advertising for this podcast. Where I have that.
What you guys don't think San Juan del Sur? I
have it like bottom C, man. I hate this season,
it is.
I have it bottom. Well,
it's my sixth best season in my opinion, and I've ranked sixth favorite.
Well, I have it. So I have it bottom B. Well, sorry, I have Blood versus Water bottom B, and again, my rule of thumb is to always put this season with Blood versus Water, but below it. Or sorry, above it. Yeah. So for me, I if we're gonna have Blood versus Water and mid B, and with our rankings, it seems to average out to being right above Blood versus Water. So
I think this season is great. I love this season. I mean, like I think this is a very underrated season.
Whatever you say.
No, look, no. You have some. I mean, first of all, like Kelly Wentworth, like. I know. Thank you.
She exists. Wait, she goes home like fourth. My guy.
Okay, yeah, but like this is introductory.
Anyway, I love that
Nadia.
This guy has to defend us like added to
No. I think like the Nadia and Natalie storyline is also really cool. Like how Nadia's the
like how Nadia goes home like 3 seconds into the season and it's not a storyline at all.
Bro, oh my god. I'm just kidding. It's like it's a storyline where like Natalie the entire game is like I'm avenge Nadia or whatever, and she ends up winning. That's pretty cool. We have the best player ever, Drew Christie, from this season.
So he's basically the Rob Zabachnik,
Yeah, he's like the Rob Zabachnik. I think John Rocker is pretty fun for his short little stay.
Except he goes also in a crappy way.
Yeah. But I think Dale Wentworth is actually a pretty underrated character, and
I don't think he's a good character. I think he might be a good player.
I think he's a pretty decent character because he has like that protectiveness of Kelly. And it ends up hurting both of them, really, honestly.
Yeah, then like he makes fire with his glasses or whatever, and like he's an old dude who like actually gets along with like the young people and stuff like that, and he just gets swap screwed. Julie, that's whatever. She quits. I mean, I think the worst thing from the season is that Josh goes home to merge, and then Jeremy goes out right after. I think that's the worst thing from the season. But other than that, I mean, like I think like. Pretty much like this is like I mean look at this cast, it's really good. I think Wes Nail's actually pretty funny. I like Wes Nail. He's not a good player at all, but I
agree. I like him as a character.
I like him as a character. I mean the nugget eating contest. I mean
I don't love him.
I don't remember one thing. I don't remember one thing he says.
I think he's a good background character. Like I think like he'll show up, he'll say something funny, or like I like how in the very beginning of the season he's like, "Hey, I know who you are, by the way, John Rocker."
Oh,
he's like, and then he's like, "No, I don't think you are."
Didn't even like. I didn't really remember that. Like that was him. Like I don't know. To me, like this season has a bunch of people who are like C level characters and or B level characters. Like Cagayan. I'll always say it. And I made this point at least 10 times on my channel. Cagayan has letter level characters. It has your C level characters like your Jeffras and your
Jeremiah's.
Morgans and Jeremiah's. Then it has your B tiers, your Tasha's, your LJ's, your Trishas, and then it has your A tiers, your Spencer's, your Cass's, and then it has an S tier. It has a Tony, like a once in an era type of character. This season has a bunch of B and C and like 2 A tiers.
Jeremy's pretty good.
I don't like Jeremy that much on this season.
Jeremy and John are A tiers, and that's it. Like everybody else is C tier.
I think you're cutting Drew Christie a bit short. I think.
My God, bro.
Like, bro, you can't
what
even
a clown, bro.
For his 4-episode arc, he's extremely funny. He's a badass and a manipulator of the game. Like
what a clown, bro.
Like, I mean, is he Zane Knight level funny early boot?
He's a manipulator of the game. He's a badass and a manipulator of the game. No, he was right though. He called it. He called it before anyone else did that Kelly Wentworth is a good player. I mean,
your red nose should come in 3 to 5 business days.
Oh my God, bro! This season is a good season. I mean, it also is like one of the last seasons to have actually good challenges as well in it. Like when Missy socks her daughter and rips her lip open, that's pretty entertaining because I just like both of them, and it's funny to see one of them get hurt.
It does have that great line of like, she's not a woman, she's not a girl, she's a mom.
Yeah, she's not a girl. She's a
what?
Like,
when Reed calls her like, "Hey, girl," to Missy, and she's like, "She's not a girl, she's a mom."
Yeah.
I
also like when like they just give up the challenge and then just like Reed just like calls Missy, Missy isn't Missy, or no, Baylor's her face that she's a brat or whatever. It's like, do not call my daughter a brat, and he's like, but she is, and it's like, I don't know, it's just great. Yeah, I think Reed's honestly a pretty underrated player.
I liked Reed. He was the actual person I was rooting for when I first watched.
Yeah, I was rooting for him too, and also his jury speech is awesome as well. Yeah. Wicked Stepmothers. It's really good. I'm actually surprised he's not came back. He wasn't even on the ballot, was he, for second chance?
Well, the issue with the 30s is there was so many newbie seasons. Like there was only 2 returnees. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just in general, like I think aside from the 20s, there was no like every decade's only had like 1 to 2 returning seasons. We just got spoiled with the 20s. We had like I think at least like I'm trying to think like at least 20 people come back in the 20s, which is crazy, you know. Or no, if you count Heroes vs. Villains, it was like 40 people who came back. You know what I mean? Like, which is insane in 5 years. Which is nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think the season's S tier. It's my 6th favorite season. I just like, I don't know what it is about the season. Like, I actually really don't. But like when I watch, I'm just always having a good time. I think like basically every single episode's entertaining. I don't think there's like the only dud episode, I guess, is the merge episode. I guess where Julie quits. But I mean, that's it really. I feel like each episode has something to offer. I think the merge and pre-merge are both very strong. We also have great characters coming from the season. I think there's only ever been 2 or 3 attorneys from this season, but I think there's a lot of great characters.
The only problem with that is though, I think like Jeremy and Kelly's like this is even like a good season.
4,
like,
sorry.
I don't even care about them this season, really.
I mean, I think Jeremy is a bit overrated this season, but I still like him. And obviously Kelly's great in later seasons. She's not like the best this season, but she still has stuff to offer.
She's probably the worst cast on this entire season as far as
I feel like Alec Christie is pretty boring.
I mean Val's kind of
she's kind of mad.
But no, Val causes a lot. Well,
she does like live.
It was
like 3
it was
idols
funny.
Or something like that.
Was funny.
Like she likes having like 2 idols or something like that.
She like ruins her and John, whatever his name, Rocker's entire game in one foul swoop.
Yeah, because she lied about them having an idol, and then he proceeds to vote her out because she couldn't save herself because she didn't have an idol.
I think Kelly brings the least to the season. I think her dad's more of a fun character.
Alec Christie.
Julie McGee, like John Walker's girlfriend's kind of
Yeah,
she doesn't really bring that much to the table.
Kelly's like a bottom 3 cast in this entire season, and then she turned
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like Kelly, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you don't.
Well, you can you at least appreciate her as like a game player,
right?
like
Exactly.
No, I can't.
What?
I think she's way overrated as a game player too.
Okay.
Well, it's just like Well, honestly, I'll agree. It really is just her one idol play that has made her like.
But it is a pretty good move. I mean, like,
I mean, let me know, but at the time of her idol play, I'm guessing she like became like basically a legend overnight. Because aside from her idol play, it doesn't seem like she's really done much.
I actually think her best game is Edge of Extinction because I think it's crazy that she makes it past the pre-merge and that.
I think her best game is Cambodia.
I think she's way overrated in Cambodia. I don't know. For some reason, I think people just want to think she's really good.
I think her best game is still, but I think her edge. I mean, you look at her Edge of the Extinction game. Her best ally flips on her, and it's terrible for his game.
Flips on her?
What? Who?
You say Edge of Extinction, Laura flips on her? I don't think she does.
Laura's not her best ally.
What's her name? Who's the name? Hold up. Wardog is not her best ally in that.
It's them 3 together.
No, it's who's the other girl in that?
Lauren O'Connell.
Yeah, she's her best ally, not Wardog.
Her second best ally. There we go. It's a trio.
Thank you. No. Definitely.
It is a trio, though. It is an alliance.
No. Wardog was always kind of like. I don't even know what Wardog.
There we go. Now.
No. You can't do this to me.
Clarify. There we go. Now that we got that.
But I still think her best game is Edge of Extinction because of. Obviously, she's probably like the returning with the biggest target on her back coming in Edge of Extinction.
But then she makes out like the second merge boot. What are you talking about?
I feel like David and Aubrey are targets.
I don't think so.
Yes.
David's game was like he was like considered amazing.
I still feel like Kelly.
I was gonna say
like
David's game is probably the most impressive out of all the returnees, honestly.
Yeah. If you look
at Aubrey, also is
everyone
considered Aubrey robbed.
She's on the Manu tribe who basically everyone from the Manu tribe went home pre-merge and none of the returnees went home. I think that's pretty impressive that she didn't go.
Right, and it makes it even more embarrassing that Aubrey is the only person from that tribe to go home pre-merge, which is like even more embarrassing for her.
Yeah, poor Aubrey. And then Aubrey ends up getting I think 16th place or something like that. It's like
yeah, it's terrible.
I think she's overrated too.
Yeah, I think Aubrey.
I think she is overrated. She's such a good storyteller, but people confuse that for being a good player at the game. But she is, but she's not a legend at the game.
She's not terrible at the game.
She's not a terrible player. She's
a good player. She's not like
one of the top. She's not a top team.
Right, like she's not like a top 30.
But you know who is on the top? Drew Christie.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you have that opinion just so I don't have the worst opinion with Thailand.
It's a joke. Right. Oh my god, bro.
Okay.
I know.
Let's.
But you have to you can't even let. Drew Christie is a fun character. Okay.
So it's gonna go above versus water. That's where all of our things.
It's an S tier season, 6th best season, better than Heroes versus Villains, China, and Micronesia. But it's whatever.
That's
whatever.
Where do I put it? Right there.
Above versus water. Above.
All right. So final season for this episode.
For this video.
Worlds Apart. I think this season's underrated. Personally.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I love World. I loved it when I first when I first watched this. I'm like, oh, this season's really good, and everyone was hating it. I'm like, what? Am I the only person that likes this?
I don't like it. I think it's a bottom 5 season of all time.
Well, I think you're a bottom 5 season of all time. So
I'm with Sky on this one. Your bottom 5 season.
I'm willing to compromise and put it at like the.
Okay, wait. I want to know what tier do you put it in?
Oh, let me check. I have it. I think in B.
Okay. What do you have?
I think I have it top B as well.
Low B. I have it.
I have it kind of near the top of B.
I have it in F, so that averages out to C.
You think it's that bad?
Yeah.
There's so many great characters on this season.
No.
Rodney's amazing.
Rodney, Vince Sly. Can I put my man Vince Sly?
Yeah, Vince Sly's a good early boot.
Remember, he was like, didn't he go up to like?
There's so many good characters on this season. Vince Sly.
No, bro, no. Remember, he goes up to Jen Brown and he's like, "Do you find me attractive?" or something like that.
Oh my god,
so funny. Dude, his job is a coconut vendor. Like
he's like, I'm gonna be a coconut bandit too. You know.
Yeah, and he goes to the Jim Brown's like, do you find me attractive? Like, do you find me attractive? Like,
I just think this season game. She said no.
I think this
Mike
season
Holloway,
just lacks.
Rob should have been on.
I just think that I think this season lacks sense of fluidity as far as at the merge, because you get the no collars going out literally all in order. Then once
like they were lame, so I was happy.
Yeah, no one likes the
right, but it's like it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, exactly. It's even worse because it's just 3 lame boots in a row.
No, dude,
they're lame in a good way.
The boots that you want to go home early, go home. You have Nina go home. You have Lindsay go home. Like, I mean,
right. But they're
like
still
Joe's
lame.
not that lame. Like Joe's pretty interesting.
They're still lame boots though. That's the thing. It's like you have 3 people who are like, why are you even on the show? Like, get
well,
out.
I know why Haley's on the show, dude.
Yeah, what? She's a game changer.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah.
Oh wait,
same reason that Parvati was brought back from Micronesia.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's not
100%.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. Bro.
I don't know. I can't trust you. You think Alicia's more attractive than Amber, so I can't trust you on that one. I can't trust you.
Yeah,
he's a fiend. He's a fiend. What can I say, bro?
I feel bad dunking on you for that.
So good. I mean, there's Sierra Don Thomas and Joe England. I mean, aren't they married now or something like that? Like,
I mean, listen. No, I'm saying that's enough.
Like Joe England, right? Like, listen,
that's enough of you. Respect. You know?
We have Dan Foley on this cast too.
Dan was a funny character.
You can't go wrong with Dan Foley. I mean, like,
yep. I like Dan.
I kind of like also how like they all like kind of hate each other.
That's fun. Like I like Dan. I like Rodney.
No,
and
I mean, I hate Shireen, but like she's a big character.
Yeah, no, like Rodney's actually like a good player if you look at it. Like, I mean, he's actually like a really nice player.
Yeah,
like,
Joaquin's like is like basically.
I will say
this season's Voce.
I will say
Joaquin
this season's boot order really works out. Like this season has a good boot order where like the final 7 or 6. I can't remember where Dan gets to if it's 7 or 6, but the final
6.
He gets 6.
The final 6 has 5 people that you genuinely care about and will.
I don't know.
And so
I don't like Sierra Don Thomas.
Oh well, then
I like Sierra Don Thomas for other reasons. So
yeah, yeah, but I feel like definitely you're like
she's a barrel roller.
Yeah, you're like
that is what she is. She's a barrel roller.
You're top 4 best characters and players get to the end, and Carolyn, Mike, Rodney, and Dan all get to the final 6. Your issue is the other like 13 people in this cast, I think, have really not much to bring to the cast.
Nah, Joe's at least a B tier character.
Yeah, I think Joe. This is probably like, is this the worst version of Joe? I don't know. Probably Edge of Extinction's worse.
Yeah, Edge of Extinction's the worst version of Joe.
But
I think I don't like Max Dawson, but he's an interesting early character.
Yeah, he's
no, he's not. It's Max Dawson. Like, what?
Bro, no, I mean, I really don't like him at all as a person.
Like, that's the thing. Is like,
wait, what is he? Is he like a bad person or something?
Like, there's like 4
super virtue signaler kind of person.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, he's super. Yeah. He like tried to get Rodney canceled for being anti-Semitic. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. What a
was Max Dawson Jewish or something? Like,
I don't know. But yeah, no, it's like I don't know. It's for me that there's like 4 really good cast members, and they all get to the end. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like the other 14 people, like I'd say maybe 4 of them add some substance, and maybe 3 more are not duds. The other like 6.
I like Tyler. I thought Tyler was good.
Tyler's alright, yeah. He's alright, yeah.
What? No.
Like he's a good game player.
Like that's the thing is Tyler's alright. Tyler's like,
well, yeah, but that's like a C-type character, B-type character, A-type character.
Was he like a former NFL?
Right. And like you have like 4 A's and you have like the rest are C's.
I think could you argue Mike Holloway's an S tier character in terms of like challenge?
No, bro. What do you mean, bro? Mike is on Mike Holloway on top. Should have been on Winners at War, but
dude, I think the show would have been so much better if he was on at Winners at War.
Yeah.
Should have been on Winners at War.
He's a big personality. I don't know why you didn't have him.
Mike on top.
Yeah,
Mike
sure.
Holloway
it was partly because he got in trouble with the law, alcohol drinking.
Okay, yeah, alcohol.
Right. It's silly.
Like,
I'm not saying it's I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just telling you what happened. Like apparently, apparently they really liked his perfect guy like vibe, his like Christian father, and then when he got in trouble, like I think he either had a DUI or he had like public intoxication. Apparently, like production like blacklisted him.
Yeah, well, Jeff probably was a DUI. So I mean, like it's like it's like.
Honestly,
just let the man be on Winners at War instead of Ben. Like, come on, it's too bad. Like for some reason, Jeff just loves Ben. Like loves Ben. Like he loves. He said
that
like,
Ben,
in a romantic way.
Ben, he said that Ben was his favorite winner of all time.
Yeah.
He really said that?
Yeah, he did say that.
He was asked in an interview, and he was asking the IMDb interview by Chelsea from IOI, and Chelsea was like, I already know it. It's either Sandra, Boston Rob, or Parvati. Or no, she's like, I already know it's Parvati or Boston Rob. Which one? He's like, no, I'm actually gonna go with Ben Drewberg in this. The best winner. I was like, what?
It's definitely Boston Rob though, for real.
Yeah,
I feel like he just thinks the story is the best for Ben.
Yeah, which is just so
even
stupid.
Though it's like a kind of a, I don't know, it's kind of like a forced story, I think.
I like this story actually. It's just like I'm not picking the best winner off the story. I'm picking the best winner off of like who they are as a game player, and then also maybe like if they're like an S tier character.
And Boston Rob isn't the best, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, I like Ben as a character. I just don't like. Yeah. I just don't like how he won his season.
Character
right, obviously. There's not.
Well, I actually think that Ben winning the HHH is the best ending for the season.
It is. Yeah.
No, I think if Devin wins, it's the best.
Okay.
No.
I was a big.
You also like Thailand, so you know.
You guys don't like Devin?
I'm fine.
No,
with
I'm saying
Devin
you also
win,
like Thailand, but I'm just saying, it's like
I just think that
you also like Samoa del Sur.
When after watching Ben Mama's Way, then for him to just like lose at the end and just
but like it would have been different.
Also, I feel like Devin's a bit
right. But I'm talking about like for this edit, Ben is the best winner for this edit.
Well, yeah, also Devin's a bit of a bum because his thing broke or whatever. Like his what was it? Flint Steel broke or whatever. Or what was it called? And then he decided to just get. Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
I think
Minecraft. I don't know. It's
Flint.
His Flint broke, and he just like, I'm just gonna lay here and do nothing and just hope that I win the fire challenge. Yeah, that's what it did. His Flint broke, and he's like, I'm taking this as a sign that I just need to, rest and prepare for the fire challenge.
Oh, for practicing.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah,
I thought that you had said that he did that during a chat, like during the challenge.
Before the fire making challenge, his Flint broke, and he's like, "I'm taking this as a sign that I just need to rest," and he proceeds to get blown out by Ben in the fire making challenge. Wow. So it's like, I always thought Devin was a bit of a bum, but I mean, like, whatever.
He's a bum.
I think he was I think he was actually the best strategist on that season.
Probably.
I don't know. I feel like Ryan is pretty.
Yeah, I like Ryan too, but he kind of fell off towards the end.
He was better than all those people though. Dan Foley, oh my God,
and Will Sims.
Will Sims, who's a YouTube sensation.
Will Sims slides down the slide part of that challenge.
I know they put the scream like sound on over it, and it's like Dan and Will Sims. And like it's so funny that like his name or his job is called YouTube sensation. It's like, I had never seen Will Sims before in my entire life before Worlds Apart.
Nobody watches like
your title, Spencer, if you get on.
Oh yeah, I'd be like,
YouTube sensation.
It's because he had like a viral clip of him or something like that.
I'm not gonna tell production that I have a channel if I get on.
They're gonna find out that they'll know everything about you.
You'd be surprised.
And then also, Will Sims said he's most like Earl, which no.
Who said that?
Will Sims said he's like Earl the most.
He made it to the finals, so I guess
if I got to the finals and they started to search, I would just put my entire channel on private and not upload.
Why don't you want them to know that you're a YouTuber?
Because I've shit on Jeff Probst thoroughly,
true.
And he makes all of the choices now. Like I would go full on sweat mode again. Like, dude, if someone said you can delete your entire channel right now and lose everything you've worked for the past half year, spending days on days. I spent 8 hours a day. Like there have been days where I've spent like 8 hours just recording 8 videos in a row, so I had daily content. Like when I had like grades that were terrible, and I had to get those grades up and do like.
Okay, what's your point? We get
he give it all up for Survivor.
I give it all up just to be on Survivor and just have a shot with a random cast. Like,
yeah, I mean that makes sense because you could always start it again once you're off.
Right. Oh, but
and you'd have a huge viewing because everyone would know who you are.
Well, I'm trying to get on Survivor again if I lose. If I win, I'm kind of okay with not coming back. But if I lose, I'm like, no, I have to come back and win. So I'm not.
I'd be pretty content with not coming back if I got on, because I would just be in so much shock that I got on one time that I would almost be like, what? Like
it'd be so weird, right? For like people us to like love the show, like to be on it.
Yeah, that would be like the process.
Like for me,
so
I just don't like expect to get on. So like if I got on, I would be fine being I wouldn't be fine being the first boot, but I wouldn't like be someone who would like be like, oh my God, I have to beg Jeff Probst to get on. Like I remember like Kat
did that,
in One World. She's like, I had to beg Jeff Probst to be on the
and
show.
it freaking worked, which sucks.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah,
well, I think it
worked,
more worked because Hayden was her
Yeah.
boyfriend.
Yeah,
and her actually being a good character.
There's a conspiracy theory that they actually weren't dating and that they faked dating just to get on the show.
See, that's what I'm saying. Hayden's the best strategist, dude. Like,
yeah, brotherly
Kat just to get on the Survivor.
It would have been so meta if if Hayden went on Survivor then won, and he won both Survivor and Big Brother, then he won on the Amazing Race with Kat
and won that, bro.
Yeah, that's why I was rooting for him on that season. So it's like, oh, first 2-time.
It is so winners. BS. The reason why he wasn't on the Cambodia thing was because he won Big Brother, so production thought it'd be more like a third chance for him than a second chance. Second chance.
That's so stupid.
Which is so dumb.
Yeah, because they have terrible rules already. Like, especially like when they brought like for Philippines, they brought back 2 people who like only played once and got injured, then brought Penner back who had a full time not being injured already.
Yeah,
right.
Which I'm like, glad with because Penner's there, but it's like that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like they're willing to bend the rules when they want to.
Yeah, it's like 3 medevacs, except one of them actually has played a full game, so you know how one of them plays, but the other 2's mystical. Yeah. Then one proceeds to get caught having naughty stuff on his computer.
So where are we
going? So let's talk about Michael Scuba's computer and get demonetized.
I was gonna say then
I rank Michael Scuba's computer in F tier.
I was gonna say the other one goes on to be the 4th boot of the season. So I feel bad for Russell Swan, man. I feel horrible for Russell Swan.
Apparently he got super depressed after Philippines. Like apparently.
Yeah, but now he has a YouTube channel where he does flying stuff. So
right.
It's called like Russ. It's like
flies on like
Russell like aviation or something like that. No.
So I know, guys. I know.
Oh,
Russ can fly. Yeah, it's a great YouTube channel.
It's like you think people would talk about that more?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think so. Wait, where do you have this bidder?
I think I had it in B tier.
Okay, where do you have it, Sky?
I have it high B tier.
Okay, so then I have it at
like
F
borderline A tier.
I have it at high F tier, so that averages out to mid C.
You know what? Just so I can I have it ranked A. I'm not letting you put this season in C.
Yeah, see, like that's what I was like. If we're gonna do this, I can be like, Thailand is S tier for me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They would like I think it's a B. I think B, like low B, is a good place to put it for.
I think high C is fair because I have it in F tier, guys. I have it in F.
Well, you're F tier, so like
so high C. I feel like is I mean that's like define the numbers. So let's go with high C.
But you're F tier, so I don't get like why. I don't know.
What do you even say?
Dude, I do not. I don't want Worlds Apart can't be C. Don't do this.
You know what? Just because Sky dogs on me so much for Thailand, I'm putting it in C.
Oh my god! Okay, fine, we'll put it on the. Okay, but Worlds Apart has to be the top C, like no other C.
Yeah, I'm fine with it being a
top C. That's fine.
All right, so. All right.
Which is like it was a weird time too, because like 30 you would think would be a returnee season. But
yeah, they haven't done it for. They didn't do it for like odd.
Apparently, they like tried to do a returnee, but when they realized that like they had used up so many returnees, like for these little small miscellaneous seasons in the 20s, apparently they just scrapped the idea and tried to make it like the best newbie cast of all time, and
they succeeded.
They succeeded.
But they thought that, and they immediately grabbed Will Sims.
Yeah. They're like, Will Sims, give me to that Dan Foley, yes sir. Like
they thought that and immediately grabbed Vince Sly.
I mean, the fact that Worlds Apart is lower than Borneo, Africa, Palau is a sin, but
I
think it being lower than Africa is a sin. But again, you guys put Africa higher.
Guys, one of my favorite seasons is in the bottom tier. At the bottom tier,
is Thailand
you guys upset about
one of your favorite
seasons? But it's terrible.
Thailand is actually one of your favorite seasons, like top 10 favorite.
I don't know if it's like top 15. I love
bruh. If you have Thailand top 10, you're literally smoking on that cow fact, bro. You already know.
Was that not allowed?
Rob's
it's not allowed. It's not allowed. You cannot.
Rob brought a skateboard as his luxury item.
Yeah,
that actually is pretty meta though. I wish he got that. So like, imagine him skateboarding out on the island. That would have been
skateboard into a win.
I wonder what Rob Zavatek's doing up like nowadays. Like, I wonder what like he's up to.
He's definitely like
he's Tony Hawk
skateboarding on
like and when he went on Thailand, that was like prime skateboarding times. Like when like the Tony Hawk games were like popular and stuff, right?
Extreme.
That was like prime
Survivor
skateboarding time.
They should just call it Survivor Extreme Thailand.
Survivor Extreme and just have
So
Rob Savanic as the logo.
So bitter. Back in the early 2000s, like did color exist, or were everyone just in black and white?
Yeah, I didn't start watching. I'm not that old. I didn't start watching Survivor in Borneo.
I'm joking.
I watched it at Fiji.
Yeah, like it wasn't like in like 10 years ago everything was black and white or something like that.
But yeah, to answer the question, no, the black and white TV is older than that.
Yeah, did like water exist back then, or did you guys just like not do that?
Yeah, we used to run on Gatorade, and then we got this like weird thing called water. It's like
Gatorade
flavorless
Gatorade.
Then,
bro got the water
Gatorade's
update.
Ancient, bro.
Water sucks. Gatorade's better.
So like, how was King Tut? Like, was he chill or?
Nice, sucked, dude.
He sucked.
Yeah, he doesn't like Thailand, so.
Was Methuselah like was he kind of woke? Like, I don't know. You tell me. Like,
Nah, he's a little based.
I mean, he's a little based. Right. He's a little based. He's like.
I will say though, something I will give Thailand is. Brian definitely is probably based, but like.
How was talking to Big Tom in 3rd grade? How was that?
He was a great older brother.
No, Big Tom is Big Tom is definitely based. So
he might be too. Big Tom might be too based.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Big Tom might be too based. Yeah. If you go back and watch Africa, Big Tom says a couple questionable things.
Southern
that's what I love about
heritage type beat, Yeah, he's a little bit.
It's like okay, it's funny when it's like okay, maybe they're just out of touch with society, not like actually.
Like, that's what's fun. Like that means they're real people, and no one's like super aware of everything.
Right.
And, like we're trying to cast people
I highly doubt that Big Tom's a racist. It's just like he's just kind of out of touch, and that's what's great.
Right. Like Big Tom does not hate black lives, and that's not the thing.
It's not like he didn't go on the season All Stars and like let's get out Alicia right now.
Which would have been hilariously awful if that was the case. Big Tom leads an all-white alliance.
He pulls out his luxury item. It's a white hood.
It's like a
oh no.
Oh my god.
No, like
and then all the woke stands on Twitter are like, wow, what a great discussion that was. Oh.
Like
where people you're not used to seeing.
Big Tom's at tribal council with his hood on while
so who are you the Big Tom going?
It's like Clarence and Ethan at the end, bro. he gives the best half Murphy of all time, bro.
He's like, look, Clarence, I think you know my stance here. It's like
I'm gonna talk to you, the jury.
Even though I think like the Klan's not a big fan of Jewish people either. So.
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh, for real though. No,
that's why Big Tom's not like that because he was.
Big Tom probably like, dang, this is a really hard decision for me, guys. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. It's like,
where are we going with this podcast? All right, guys.
Oh no, what are we saying at this
point? We're going to F tier. That's where we're going.
We're all going to F tier
over there in the Skylander universe.
Well, by the time this podcast already comes out, it'll be over. But because I'm feeling a bit, extra quirky. I don't know. I'm gonna be streaming Five Nights at Freddy's on Saturday on my community because I hate that game so much, but I've always wanted to play it, but I don't like jump scares. So I'm hoping that the fans.
Have you not played it yet?
No, I've not played it yet. Saving it
I just like never tried it, but then one day, like I was in 5th grade, and my friends tried it. It's pretty cool, and I'm not really a big fan of those types of games, but it's pretty cool.
I don't like jump scares and stuff like that, but I'm hoping that the fans will help me through it. And then I might skip an upload this Sunday just to kind of get my head back in the game. New year, new me. But if I don't, I'll be uploading every single Sunday. So yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, what's going on there in the Bitter universe?
I don't know. I might make a video or something.
Okay. So, is there any ideas?
You might make a video.
Can you give your audience any hints, any little drops of knowledge? Since most of your viewers watch my channel too. So.
Well, I wanted to cover the whole Shan fiasco with her Patreon crap.
Wait, what happened with her Patreon? What happened with that?
Like she quit being a preacher and is give me money to not do anything on Patreon.
Well, I'm okay, so let me tell you, I'm Christian, but I hate when they do this. So she was like, God has sent me in a new direction, and that direction is give me money on Patreon.
It's you got to at least give people something for being on Patreon.
So she just didn't offer anything. She just said
I forget what the tier was. It's barely anything. It's basically help me live. It's basically
but did she actually stop being a pastor, or did she just
quit being she wants to be an influencer now? That's what she wants to do.
Tier 1, help me live.
I'm not surprised. I mean,
tier 1, help me live. Tier 2, pay my bills. Tier 5, pay my mortgage.
Yeah, she was basically just saying, guys, God like full on coach, just like guys, God sent me in this direction to be an influencer.
God
welcome back to the
gave
vlog
me the immunity
channel.
necklace, Jeff. I need it right now. Hand it over. No, imagine coach is like, God has told me that I deserve the immunity necklace, so I need it in my around my neck right now.
Yeah, if you support Shane on Patreon, you're class.
Like, I don't even know what she's like offering. Like,
you're
and, like her top tier is $20 a month. It's like it says Birch early access. I don't know, early access to what? You asking for more money? And then let's kick it. Like you're not gonna meet her, so I don't know what that means.
Like at least offer like a podcast or something.
Yeah, it's like great content. So like, what are you gonna do?
So cringe, bro. Oh my, that's so sad, bro. And she,
God is calling me to become an entrepreneur. Okay.
So when she called me out, she talked about how my videos are 30-minute diatribes, basically saying like they're really long, full of fluff. And then she makes a Patreon.
Yeah, at least you don't offering you guys pay, like I would never do Patreon because I feel like it's kind of like, hey, pay me money and I'll give you content. It's like,
I'd be willing to do it to be like lowest tier if you want to support me.
I would only do it. I would have one tier for $5 and you would just get my videos early, and that would only be
I feel like that's a fair trade-off though. Like
I'd feel so uncomfortable asking for like $20 and like
I would not be comfortable like asking like anything but like above like $5 is like okay, and like at $10 you'd have to be getting
like my
some good perks
like my join button like for my channel, it's like 99 cents. It's not that like that's fine.
Reasonable stuff,
like you know what I mean, and like that's not really to get like obviously like you get like emojis and things next to your name, but like nobody actually gets it for that. You get it because you want to show token of support, right? And that's fine, but you're not showing a token
it's more
of support
for like all the work you put into your videos,
right?
And it's like it's 99 cents too. It's like you're not asking for like $20
and I get like 70 of those cents because YouTube is so damn greedy. That's the thing, it's like that's like different for then Shan charging $25 to pay her mortgage.
It's like she just thought of like wanting to be an influencer. Like she's like went to the part where
at least she gets paid. Keep your job,
right? She's
and
like
then wait and see if
no
this
work,
actually works
only
out.
money first. You know,
well, it just shows like she's like she was always like out for like her own self gain.
Yeah, for her own stuff. She is the opposite of what a quote unquote pastor should be. I mean, it's very very
makes me feel bad for the people she advised on stuff.
Right? Yeah. They are probably, robbing buildings.
Shane, if you're watching
this current moment, definitely not. Hopefully not. No.
I hope you are watching this, Shane.
Hopefully is,
Like, listen to her $10 thing. It's like, oh, you decided to drop one of your many subscriptions to either Hulu or Netflix or Amazon. Like, what are you offering that's better than me having Netflix? Or
let me go look her up on Patreon real quick.
What in the world, bro? She is out of her.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm looking up right now. Okay, ready?
You know,
$5 a month. You ready? This is perfect for all of you college students or recent graduates who are still looking for a job. I see you, family. I commend you for doing all that you can do. Every little bit helps. Thank you. Then it says, "Let's kick it." Doesn't what does that mean? Anything? I don't know.
What?
$10. $10. You decided to drop one of your many subscriptions to Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon for me.
Oh
wow. Hashtag the feels. You'll not be disappointed. Kick it. Early access. Early access.
I should make like a video called like Sham is homeless now. She needs your money.
She has 39 Patreons. Okay,
dude, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do
$20 a month. $20 a month. $20 a month, the wisest and rarest of them all. I see you all with your great, big, generous heart coming out of nowhere. Your word shall be great in heaven. Welcome,
I know. Like, what is that?
To Majestics.
Give me money, and then God will let you be in heaven. Like, what the hell? Like, what are you saying?
The Bible Boss, $25 a month. Free workshops once a month and Bible studies bi-weekly. Early access, video tutorials and lessons. Of what? Of what?
Early access.
Picking it
for me to take your money.
It's like she's like,
I charge you.
Give me money, and I might think of something to give you.
I think it just goes to show that she really doesn't actually care about God and stuff like that.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
She said, I quit and I want to become an influencer. Like that's God's calling me to become an entrepreneur and an influencer. It's like okay,
like,
God's calling me to make $1 million.
Like if you're an actual pastor, you'd tell that's probably like spitting in like face of God right there. You know, it's like,
honestly,
it's
bro,
fine
it's
if
like,
she wants to do that, but don't like put up this like front that it's like you're doing this for
that God told me to do it. Like
it's for Jesus. It's like no, you're doing it for your pockets. Admit it, and that's fine. Like
just like on the show.
Like I do YouTube for money too. If I didn't get paid money, I'd be pissed as fuck. Like,
we're capitalists here, man.
Right?
Yeah. Like, welcome to the capitalist society of America. You know,
right?
Make your money.
Get like, paid or get played. Like I don't know. Like I don't know.
Like Shan, yes. Like Shan, the rest of us, yes, we are humans. We're flawed. Like yes, do I make titles that are kind of provocative and on purpose? Of course.
Get the people pumped.
Get paid or get played. You know,
that's the whole point. That's the whole point. You're doing it. Except I admit it. Like of course, there's a difference between clickbaiting and doing that. But again, I admit that I do a certain thing that helps me personally because I'm a selfish person, like everybody else. Shan, on the other hand, thinks that she's superior to everybody and thinks that she can never be selfish, and that and anyone who thinks that has to be a racist, sexist, obic, ivic, whatever. I don't know. Like
that's why I didn't buy her game about being all about the culture and stuff. It's like this is supposed to be helping you. You don't actually care.
Yeah, you just want them Instagram clicks.
And then she accused Deshaun of hacking the culture to help him. It's like you're doing the same thing. What are you doing?
Yeah, bro, you're trying to hack the culture so you can win $1 million. Like, at least
right?
Or like at least be honest about the show. Like, yeah, I was trying to get the game.
I'm like imagining like the thumbnail we're gonna make Sky like I'll make like a whole like a dirty homeless lady and then put Shan's face on the homeless lady and then put
how did we go from season tier rankings
and
to
then like
bashing on Chantel
and put in the speech bubble like spirit change.
Oh yeah, that'd be funny.
God.
I mean, Chantel, I don't know. You've gone a little crazy. Luckily for you, though, you'll probably be on another season of Survivor, so that might help out.
Shan is homeless.
That's a good one. Like she went from being like stanned by everyone, like even her people who were like standing her were like, "Really, you're doing this?"
Yeah, like what are you doing, bro? Like,
that's when you know it's bad.
Okay. Yeah. And what's going on over there in this Survivor Spencer universe? So you'll see that Shan video come out probably next Monday, if not next Tuesday. I will get that Jeff video out that I've been meaning to do, although I just keep coming up with new ideas every day. I've been kind of on a streak lately, but eventually the Jeff one will come out the first day that I can't think of anything, and I'll do that one. And again, daily content continues. You guys are loving it, so I'll just continue to make it. Again, you guys have changed my life for the past 7 months, so let's continue. You guys good? Is there anything else you want to say?
This podcast was 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Oh my god! If you're still watching this, I mean, thank you.
People like the long content, man.
True.
It's true, bro. It's a new thing. All right, guys. Well, talk to you later. See you. Peace.